Welcome everyone to a new Let's Play that I'm doing called Tales of Arise. And this came out like last week, I think. And I'm excited to get started with it. I will say I kind of had to make the hard decision of which Let's Play to do first because before this game came out, Psychonauts 2 was released. And I really want to play that game, I know, but the issue is that, like, these games are $60, so I had to really choose one. So I kind of lean toward getting this game and doing a Let's Play on it first because, well, either way, I'll be doing Let's Plays of both games in the future. So to make sure the language is in English, because we're gonna play with the English dub. Yay! And, yeah. I think among the characters that were advertised the most, I think 2 of them are ones that I'm not too familiar with their voice work, but I'm excited to hear their performances when we do get to see them. Oh, and apologies if the volume's loud. It's probably just the title screen because I can't really adjust it yet, as you can tell from my options. So I apologize if the game is loud right now. We'll get that fixed, hopefully. And I'm excited for this game. Ever since it was announced in 2019, I've been looking forward to it. As a lot of titles were, this was going to be released last year in 2020, but of course because circumstances, it was delayed to this year, and it was worth the wait. And as you all know, I do like Tales games. I have done Let's Plays of them. I will say 2 of them are gone now because they were really bad Let's Plays. One of them was very early on when I did Let's Plays, so it was not the greatest quality, and I really didn't like that one, that's why I removed it. The other one was, I felt like I did poorly with that playthrough, so I basically made it all private, and you guys don't see it anymore. But I did a third, like, Tales game playthrough, which was Tales of Zestiria, which wasn't really a blind playthrough as I did play it before, but I wanted to do it for fun because it was one of my favorite games. Like, it is one of the more, like, not so liked games, but for me, I actually liked it. Like, I like the characters, so, and also I did see its anime adaptation, that was pretty good. And there's also Tales of Berseria, which I was going to do a playthrough for fun at some point, but I never got around to it and I got super lazy, so that never happened, but it is another one of my favorite Tales games. Well, I do like a lot of them, and I have seen a lot of the other games as well, the ones I can't play because of obvious reasons. We're not going to get into that, because that's going to be a lot of explanation. But the point being, I'm a fan of this series if it's not obvious, and I'm excited to get into this one, and see what the story is about. So let's start new game. Okay. Here we go, okay. So let me go fix... Okay, so the settings is actually when I click new game, okay. Okay, I'll go fix up OBS now.
Pathetic! Sighted! There!
Demon Fang!
Okay, we'll put it like that. Music will be... Let's make it this. Okay, so I do have the... Okay. Battle camera. I don't really understand how camera works. Obviously, so tell us because, you know, what if the volume is wrong? What is the options here? Story? No. Normal, moderate, hard. Okay. Oh, it says it here. For the story and combat second. I'm just gonna be like mix because I do like... Lately, when I play games now, I prefer to have it on normal because... There's just something about like... I like to have a little more challenge these days than have it way too easy. Okay. Oh yeah, this is also on PC, by the way. I'm playing the PC version. Obviously. Okay, I'm gonna check. Borderless, obviously that's best. I wish they had the options separate so I don't have to, like, do this, like, on stream. I think we'll be fine. Okay. I think 75's good. I'll see, like, if I do need to lower it later, I'll do something. Anyways, let's see. This doesn't really matter. Okay. Just like to, you know what, just leave it. Let's leave, okay, let's leave the rest as it is, and, go. Wait, how do I, oh, save and begin. It's like, what is this button? Begin a new game with these settings.
In ages long past, it was believed that Mother Dana was indestructible and everlasting. Rena, on the other hand, was thought to be the domain of the gods, a paradise where the souls of the departed could rest forevermore. Oh, how wrong we were. In the face of Rena's unimaginable technology, its soldiers, clad in huge, shining armor, and its fearsome beasts, known as Zeugles. The prosperity and bounty of Dana all but disappeared overnight. That was 300 years ago. The world of Dana fell under Renan rule, and its new masters split the land into 5 distinct realms. And now today, Orbis Calaglia, one of the Renan's 5 realms. It is ruled over by the tyrant Balseph, Lord of the Firemaster Corps. Unrelenting fire scorches this barren wasteland. Dust storms course over the rocks and crags, and no relief is to be found from the oppressive heat. The Danan people toil as slaves. Day after day they suffer, under the ruthless oppression of the Renan soldiers, with only one hope of escape. Death. Only in death is their agony finally brought to an end. They have forgotten what it means to be free. So complete is the Renan's domination.
You call that pushing? Put some back into it, embedded!
Iron Mask?
Why you?
Let me.
Huh. What is this? Some kind of slave support group? Mind your own business, you worthless— All right, third squad! Time to regroup! Go on, get moving!
Hey, wait for me! Thank you, Iron Mask.
That's okay, Cole. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. Iron Mask, you're bleeding. We need to get you looked at by Doc.
That bad, huh? Better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Okay, I guess we're whoa. Did I just... Okay, I can finally tab out of the game. Okay. There we go. God, I can't... Okay, can I adjust the settings a little bit? I don't have downloadable content, so... Maybe... There. No. Let's go back. Okay, so seems like we're starting off now. It's so close to the game. Okay. Oh yeah, and I don't know if I briefly mentioned it because I have a very forgetful memory, but the opening, obviously, like every Tales game, the opening does play when you start up the game. Obviously, I skipped that because I don't want to get copyrighted. So yeah. Okay, so we can move with all the things. I'm so sorry, Iron Mask. You got hurt because of me. Don't sweat it, kid. It's not like I felt anything. But that's why Doc tells you to be extra careful, doesn't he? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I chose to stick my neck out for you, and I don't regret a thing. So don't sweat it, Cole, okay? Okay, thanks, Iron Mask.
I doubt Doc's gonna like what he sees.
Oh, and also to mention, because the trailers and stuff, I know the names of the characters, but we're gonna pretend we don't until they're actually introduced.
Ah, you again.
Sorry to trouble you, Doc.
Look after yourself and there'd be no need for sorries, would there? Now sit. So, still unable to remember anything, I take it?
Blank as always. Nothing but that strange dream.
No face, no memories. Unable to feel pain, yet only too eager to take on everybody else's. What will we do with you? Here, let me see. You may not be able to feel pain, but that doesn't mean you can't be wounded, just like everyone else. If you're not more careful, you'll wind up dead without even realizing it one of these days.
I watched another slave die today. More corpses than I care to count.
Unfortunately, that's hardly a rare sight around these parts.
Dahnans are always dying, and the Renans just watch. How long can this continue? Why doesn't anyone stand and fight?
Keep your voice down, will you? If only it were so simple, my friend. There have certainly been uprisings, all right. 3 centuries worth of the damn things. As for all the good they've done, take a look around and judge for yourself. There. That should just about do it. Now, do me a favor and try to stay out of trouble so the wound doesn't open again.
Doc, back when I knew nothing, you were the one who taught me just how things work around here. You know I'll always be grateful for that. But I can't just...
The race is won by the calm and the steady. You're still young. You have time. Wait for the right moment, both for yourself and the world. Work will be wrapping up for the day soon enough. Don't sit around here. Go out and feel the breeze against your skin. Even a slave's entitled to that. Just do me a favor and keep a low profile, all right? You stand out enough in that mask as it is.
Guess I'll go back to my room.
Okay. Rest in your assignment. Press M. Okay. It's the map. Oh. Display map list. Whoa. Interesting. Okay. Oh god. The camera is so fast. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for saving me earlier. Okay. Try not to cause too much trouble out there. You already stand out plenty as it is wearing that mask of yours. Okay. Assuming we can't go that way because blocking path. Yeah. Okay. So everything's pretty linear here. So. Okay. Well, for now. The Bright Eyes stick these weird stones on our bodies and then work us to the bone until we're dead. And as if the routine beatings from them weren't enough, when they're in a really bad mood, they like to sick their zoogles on us?
I'm a slave, just like everyone else here. So how come I don't have a spirit core? Or face, or memories for that matter? Not worrying about it won't change anything.
They're not moving. Damn it. Alright, well, we're just setting a little more. Not matter how tired you get of seeing them, you can always find Rena and Laneges hanging up in the sky. I hate it. It's like they're watching over us, keeping an eye on our every move. Laneges? Oh my god. I think hopefully we get to know these pronunciations a bit later, or they said it and I kind of missed it a little bit. Especially something else. There's no way we can ever hope to beat the Renans when they can build floating castles like that. It's just sad here. Ever wonder what those Bright Eyes like to burn all over the place? I'll tell you, it's the fuel they make us mine for. There's no reason for us to do it. Once we do, they just take it and light it up. And that's why it's hotter than hell here. Oh, that's messed up. Listen, whatever the bastards do to you, don't even think about trying to fight back against them Bright Eyes. Got it? I know. Not like any of us have a chance in hell of ever beating one of those soldiers or their zoogles, let alone Lord Balsef. Shh, don't talk about this in public, you two. Who knows what they'll do if they hear you guys.
I should get some rest.
Sure. Can't really do anything at this point of the game.
I wonder how many people have slept in this bed before me. Mine for now, but for how long? Tomorrow's another day. I guess I should get some shut-eye. I'd better head to work. So I've got business with the freight train today, huh? Great.
What are you doing? You better go to your assigned position before the Bright Eyes beat you. Just...
Great. Time to start another day toiling away for the Renans.
Okay, so
Am I gonna do this until the day I die?
okay, so it's pronounced Renans. Okay. Over here.
Look lively, slaves. Let's see some work around here.
Grenar!
Zephyr, she's here!
The hell? Come back!
The girl's nowhere to be found.
This hurts.
Hey, Bennett, did you find anything?
Not yet, sir.
What do they expect from us on such short notice?
Hey, you're...
Over there! Don't move!
Go now! Huh? Hurry, get moving!
Stay still! You caused us a lot of trouble, you know.
Now we can do this the easy way, or not.
So bad. It's just you.
Here they are! Forget the rebels! Focus on the girl! Jump over at the front! Take the girl alive! The man is expendable!
Armored soldiers!
Idiots! Hey, you two! All right, sure! Come on!
Away you go!
Hope you can jump! You all missed your chance to become Lord. Which means you lot live and die for me, the mighty Balzath! Got that through your skulls? Now hurry up and bring me Shion! Yes, sir! Even the drink's lost its appeal.
Someone's in a bad mood. Lord Wolsey, ruler of Orbis Calaglia. Ah, but it's wild beast you prefer, isn't it? Do forgive me.
Ganabelt Valkyris. What do you want?
From what I hear, you seem to be having some trouble over there in Calaglia. As a fellow lord, I merely thought to ask whether I could be of any assistance to you.
Enough with the false pretense. I can tell a rat when it's sniffing around.
Forgive me, I can only imagine the emotional toll failing to ascend the throne not once but twice must take. A most distressing state of affairs.
Shut up! It's none of your concern.
The crown contest is proceeding apace, and so quickly, I must say. It won't be long before the victor is crowned as the new sovereign.
I look forward to it, and you can be sure I won't forget our little chat.
Nor will I. Until next time.
Where?
You awake?
Who are you?
The name's Tilsa. I'm the medical officer for the Crimson Crows. You're in one of our safe houses.
Crimson Crows?
Don't tell me you've never heard of us. We're the Resistance, for the Dahnan people. We get in the way of the Bright Eyes' best-laid plans.
The Dahnan Resistance? I didn't know such a thing existed.
Oh, we exist all right. Though I guess we're not as famous as I thought we were. Seems like I know more about you than the other way around, Mr. Iron Mask. Is it true you can't take that thing off?
Yeah. Worse is that I don't even know why I'm wearing it. That woman I was with.
Oh, yeah. She's quite the character, isn't she? Zephyr should be interrogating her over in the Slammer as we speak.
You locked her up? Why?
Why? Go take a look for yourself if you're so interested.
They're interrogating her? Just what the hell is going on? I need to go and find out for myself.
Okay. God, that whole battle scene is cool to watch. I have something I am sort of aware of. I don't know. It's been like I read about it in 2019, but like unlike the previous Tales titles, like this is more inspired with like for like what's the word? I read it somewhere and I forgot. It's like I guess like the aesthetic is more like to. I apologize if I'm not getting this right, guys, but I swear, like, I think when this game was first announced, like, I read somewhere, like, from, like, an article that, like, they decided to make the aesthetic more pleasing to fans in the western side of the world. And, like, to, like, get more appeal, I think? I don't know. I forgot. I wish I read this article again, but after the game came out, I decided not to look into it anymore. But it was like one of the early articles when they announced the game in 2019. So it's like, it's kind of why like this game has a different aesthetic compared, like a tiny bit different aesthetic compared to the previous games that the company has made. If you want to know something, I'll tell you what I can. Oh, there's a lot here. Okay. Okay, what is this place? This is the old Zeon Mine, one of the Crimson Crows' safe houses. Abandoned mines like this one are pretty commonplace, so we have no shortage of places to hide out. If you want to know something, I'll tell you what I can. Oh, wait, that's the same line. Okay, what are the Crimson Crows? I told you, we're a resistance group fighting the Bright Eyes. Our goal is to liberate Calaglia from Rena. So injuries are a constant thing for us. It's distressing work for me as a medic. Who's Zephyr? Zephyr is the Crimson Crows' leader. He's not just physically strong, he's got real smarts. He's indispensable to us. If you want... Oh. Where's the woman? Jail's up ahead. Zephyr's interrogating her now. You can check it out if you're curious, but I wouldn't disrupt the interrogation if I were you. And who are you fighting? Who else? The Renans rolling over at Calaglia. The ones that came down from lineages have been giving us hell for the last 3 centuries. Of course, we can't even reach neighboring towns, much less Lenegus. So our current target is the Renans in Calaglia and their lord, Balseth. God, words. Okay. Let's go. I do like to talk to people, though. If it isn't Iron Mask himself. Good to see you, buddy. Have we met before? Nah, we've never met before. But you're definitely famous in these parts. Everyone knows you as the buckethead who stands up to the armored soldiers and can take a beating from them like it's nothing at all. Guys like you don't come around that often at all. It'd be weird if we didn't know about you somehow. The only reason the Bright Eyes want to mine through Calaglia so much is so they can get as much fire out of this realm as they possibly can. Hey, I noticed you don't have a spirit core on your body. Did you dig it out yourself? You did really good not having any of the Bright Eyes catch you without one all this time. I'm impressed. Oh god.
Damn it! So it wasn't a lie. The slightest touch is like being struck by lightning.
What are you doing?
So you're finally awake, huh?
What's going on here? What did she ever...
Mind your business. So even if you don't mean to hurt somebody, if they touch you, they get electrocuted, huh? It doesn't seem to be poison or magic. Is this the reason Balseth's soldiers were after you? For the last several days, Balseth's forces have been getting pretty restless. When we looked into it deeper, the word thorns came up over and over again. And now, we come across Miss Prickly herself.
Drop the attitude. Did you really think we wouldn't find out anything about you? Miss Shion Imaris?
That's her name? You mean she's...
What? You didn't figure it out already? Yeah, that's right. This lady's got herself a surname, which means one thing. She's a Renan, our enemy.
Yeah, but she was being chased by Renan soldiers. So then, why?
That's exactly what we're trying to figure out. After all, aside from the clothes they wear, there's only one way to tell a Danon from a Renan, and that's whether their eyes light up or not. Ain't that right, Bright Eyes?
Big talk for someone who can't even use astral arts. Embedded.
Don't you call us embedded! Look, you see the stone your people embedded in me? There isn't one. Because we gouged them out the day we swore to rise up against your kind. This scar's a reminder, not to rest until every last one of you is...
We Danons may not be capable of using astral arts, but it looks like those thorns of yours won't do you much good in escaping here either.
Still, inflicting pain on anyone who comes near you, that's one hell of an ability.
You're wrong. You think this curse is some kind of great ability?
Curse.
Fair enough. All I know is Balseth must have his eye on you for a damn good reason. And until we find out why...
An ambush!
They must have tracked us down. Evacuate as planned. Hurry! And bring the girl. If she gives you any trouble, wave a spear in her face.
I got it.
Hey, Iron Mask. Sorry, but right now it's everyone for themselves.
What about you?
I'm going to welcome our guests. Don't go dying on me.
Come on, move.
And don't try anything funny.
Okay. Fired weapon. I guess just...
Enemy attack!
An ambush. Renans are here? I have to find an exit and get the hell out of here.
Oh, can I save? I could do it the whole time. Let's put a manual save here. Okay. If the Bright Eyes arrest you and try to make you rat anyone out, you have two options. Either break out or find a way to keep quiet. Permanently. Damn it. What the hell are the lookouts doing? How did Balsif's men ever find this place? Let's go.
Anyone who can fight, grab a weapon! Damn! How'd they find out about this place?
Damn it. If it wasn't for that armor or the Bright Eyes, swear, I could totally take them one-on-one. They're just ordinary Renans underneath. There's nothing else that's special about them. But all the machinery in their armor makes them way bigger and stronger than they otherwise would. I hate it. This guy's play dirty.
Have these kinds of battles been going on this entire time? And I just didn't know?
Damn it, the Bright-Eyed woman took advantage of all the confusion and broke out. I think we're at the point where I won't be doing this, but it's pretty early in the game, so. Leave everything inessential behind. We'll make do without one way or another if we make it out alive. It's no use trying to take on the armored soldiers like this. It'll only mean more casualties for us to deal with later. Okay, let's go. Uh-oh.
Stop right there! Oh, it's just a Danon. You there! Where's the Renan girl who was here?
Well,
Spit it out! I want an answer, Insurgent!
How's this for an answer? Go to hell!
You dare address a Renan armored soldier that way? I'll show you embedded!
Serial. Oh. Press Q to perform a normal attack. At first, you can string up to 3 normal attacks together, but by learning certain skills, this limit can be increased. Players can also attack in mid-air after jumping. Oh my god, there's buttons. There's a possibility I might plug in a controller, by the way, next time, so... it's possible that'll change things up. Okay, Archer special action. Press R, E, and F. That's weird layout. To evade enemy attack. What is happening? Oh, it's shift. You time well as an enemy will perform perfect evasion, allowing you to avoid taking any damage.
Talk or die!
So much for playing nice.
Oh god.
Alright, we're up. You're finished! Real fight. Still,
Oh god.
I have to do this. I won't go quietly. Slash! Swallow blade!
Damn it, get it!
Rising light!
Go to hell!
I'm not done! Here I come! Here I come! It's over! I won. I actually beat one of those Renan soldiers. I've got to keep going. I have to survive this no matter what.
Oh, I really... Okay, those controls are really weird. So... I might see if I could get a controller plugged in. Well, I'm not gonna do it now, but is that an option I could do? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I might just keep it with these controls, regardless. Wait, I went the wrong way. Wait, how does... What are maps? try to take on any armored soldiers yourself. You don't have a chance to... You don't have a chance in hell of winning.
What's this thing?
Gotta break through!
You got spirit!
Take this! Try harder! Swallow blade! You're finished!
Bennett!
Here I
God,
come!
I gotta fix that.
Mirage! Here I come! You're finished! Here I come! You're finished!
Seems like I just used the mouse for some of
Take
this.
this! Rising Wyvern! Strike! Mirage! Here I come!
The camera is crazy. What?
Here I come! It's over!
Ouch.
Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! Mirage!
We won.
Okay, can I see if I can adjust the camera setting? See how strongly... Okay, lower these. Yeah, let's try this. Because that's a bit insane to see the camera moving like that. Wait, no, don't. Yeah, this feels more right.
Xi'an V. Mayor Imaris Daymore. I hereby detain you in the name of His Excellency Lord Bulseth.
Damn it!
Throw down
I was
your
so
weapon.
close. What the? You've got some kind of death wish? Those are armored soldiers you're...
Shut up and get out of here while you still can!
Step aside, slave. These are Renan affairs you're meddling in.
Hey!
We've got a better chance working together. Besides, I don't much feel like being indebted to a Danon.
Fine, suit yourself.
Okay, combos. Combos are actions strung together with no gaps. Okay, that's pretty obvious. I've played so many games to know that. Diminishing returns and combos. During combo, let the same artist use multiple times within 4 actions. And will decrease and it was recover from it sooner. Okay, so change it up, I guess. Oh, interesting. So
Word
change
to
it
the
up.
wise, I call my own shots. Just stay out of my way and we'll get along quite well.
It's kinda new for me if you hadn't noticed. Don't expect any promises.
Damn it, Bennett!
Take this! Slash!
Take this!
Take this! Try harder! It's over! Rising Wyvern! No escape! Mirage!
Why did you help me? What could a Danon like you possibly gain from helping a Renan like me?
Trust me, I've no great love for Renans. I guess I'm just not as consumed with hatred as some...
What?
Have we met somewhere before?
Me? Friends with a Danon? Can't say I've had the pleasure.
Well, when you put it like that, yeah, silly question. I don't remember anything about my past. Don't have any clues to go on either. Not even my own face.
Let me get this straight. You don't know what you look like, but you thought I might somehow recognize you?
Something like that. Guess my helping you back there wasn't as self-sacrificing as I made it out to be. Besides, I can't feel pain anyway, so it's not like...
Wait, you really can't feel pain?
Yeah, it's just another thing I don't have. No pain, no face, no memories. I only know one thing about myself, and that's that I'm a slave.
What about your name? You must have one, right?
Iron Mask. Got the name from the person who found me. Said that this way I wouldn't forget I had a real name out there somewhere.
I see.
So where to next?
Outside, silly. What do you think we fought all this way for? Stay sharp. We're going in.
It's close this time. So we just wait. Don't get so confused.
Glad to see you made it. I heard you managed to escape, but I didn't expect to see old Iron Mask with you. In any case, we're all wanted by the Renans. It'll be easier for everyone if you both just come with me.
Where are the others?
They're waiting for us up ahead. Come on.
Stay where you are, dissidents.
Just look at all these soldiers. How badly did they want to destroy this hideout?
Apprehend the traitor! Slaughter the rest!
Look out! Sion! Sion!
A blazing sword. But how?
Impossible.
The Master Core. He was embedded within her all along. No matter. Kill her if you have to. Just retrieve the core.
You okay?
Your arms!
Oh, yeah. How about that? Guess it's just as well I can't feel it, huh?
You're not in agony? Wait, are you serious?
Hold still.
Huh?
It's one of my healing arts.
A sword that sears the hand of he who wields it, and a healing art to mend. A man numb to pain, and a woman whose very touch deals nothing but.
Thank you.
All right, let's rout the bastards and finish them off before the surviving stragglers have a chance to regroup. Iron Mask, you coming?
Definitely. I'm not about to go back all that way alone.
So I guess you're not planning on releasing me, huh?
Sorry. You're coming with us.
In that case, there's one thing you should know. No one uses that flaming sword without my say-so.
You needn't worry on that score. I doubt many of us could get close to it in the first place, or would want to.
The blazing sword. It It just might be strong enough to match the power of a lord. No, maybe even to surpass it.
Are you sure you're okay?
What do you mean?
Your wound. That soldier nailed you pretty good. Not to mention those flames bursting from you.
They only hit my master core, so I'll be fine. And the flames weren't even hot. It's probably because they're just a manifestation of the astral energy. Honestly, I'm more surprised that you really are incapable of feeling pain.
Did you think I was faking?
No, I believed you. I guess seeing you stay calm while bearing those burns to your hands just really made it hit home for me. It's ironic. I have no problem hurting anyone who touches me. But as soon as I try to wield that sword, it's me who gets hurt.
Do you wish you were impervious to pain too? You realize you could burn your fingers off without even noticing, right?
So what? All I need right now is power. And up until now, I haven't come across anything stronger than that blazing sword the whole time I've been doing this.
You really don't care what happens to you as long as you get what you're after, do you?
Don't talk like you know me.
You... You're right. I don't get you. I don't get why you're so quick to throw it all away. Not when us slaves have never had a choice in whether we lived or died.
Pretty memorable. You befriended Xion. Zevras teamed up with your party. Interesting. Xion's fighting style. Specializing gun-based long-range strikes and astral arts. Certain enemies receive distance. Okay, healing. So I'm guessing we're gonna have like health bars now. 'Cause it didn't seem like we really had them like in those previous fights. And that's pretty easy.
Can you even see out of that thing? Like, at all?
Of course I can. How else do you think I managed to avoid tripping everywhere I go?
What is that thing anyway? It doesn't look like anything Dan and I've ever seen.
Beats me. I don't remember anything about my past. When I came to, I was already wearing it. If I could get it off, I would. Damn thing makes it hard to eat. And I can't scratch my face when it itches. It's the worst.
Honestly, I'm just impressed you've managed to survive this long looking like that. I'm sure you attract attention wherever you go.
Most of the other Danans don't pay it any mind. It's in everyone's best interest to just keep their heads down, focus on their work, and pretend they don't notice.
What about the Renan soldiers? Didn't they notice?
The guards? They're more the kill first, ask questions later type. Be in the wrong place or step out of line and you're dead. Mask or no mask. That said, as long as you keep your head down and don't cause trouble, they mostly ignore you. Honestly, sometimes they don't look all that keen to stir up trouble themselves. A friend of mine said it's because if they kill us without a good reason, it could delay the work and put them behind schedule. At that point, it'd be their necks on the line. You should know more about all that than me, though, right?
I don't serve any of the lords. But I see what you mean. After 3 centuries of Renan rule without much upheaval, it's possible the soldiers might be losing their edge. All this trouble we've caused might be the first excitement they've had in a while.
Well, I don't plan on getting killed for their amusement.
So I'm guessing control is activating skits. Because that did seem like a skit. I swear, if I did miss one, and I checked the recording and see if I missed one early on, that'll be embarrassing. Strategies determine how your party operates in combat on G to be details. Strategy. Okay. I think I should move my microphone a little bit so it'll still be in the way of my screen, but I usually don't mess with strategy when I play games like this, by the way. Art setting screen. RT to inspect the arts you have. honest stuff. It's fine. No. Okay. So let's save again. Okay, so throughout this playthrough, I better pay attention to the corner of the screen for, yeah. Okay, so, block. Oh yeah, we go this way. Oh yeah, also, yeah, that cutscene was amazing. Oh my god. The detail of the burns, though, that's quite detailed for, like, a game like this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, our main character here is someone, obviously, who can feel pain and doesn't know who he is. Trailer spoiling a bit of things, but, I'm not saying it. And we also have a girl, Shion. Yeah, with, that whole power and all that. Interesting. Can't wait to see how this all unfolds. Oh my gosh. Also, I hope I can reach, like, the goal today is kind of reach the point where I could finally say something. I can't yet because we have to keep this, I don't want to spoil. Because trailers giving it away. Brimstone and swirling ash. Ooh.
That's...
Glanimede Castle. Stronghold of Lord Balseph. Self-imposed ruler of all Calaglia.
I've never seen it from this close before.
That's it, all right. And next to it are the Gates of Fire. Take a good long look while you still can. That wall is what we've come to tear down. The only thing standing between us and freedom.
Freedom.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, I forgot to briefly point this out. So, okay, I'm pausing with the map. So like, when it did show up in the corner, you know, press control, and that seemed like a skit. So like, they went a whole different direction with skits for this game. Because in the previous games, for the majority of them, it was like the box, and with the character portrait in it. But then I know for Grace's, Zestiria and Berseria, they went more with like the full sprite kind of thing. And this one, it's more like literal like comic strip-ish kind of style thing-ish. Does that make sense? I'm assuming those were skits. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? On the fire.
Be careful. If you get close to a Zoogle, they'll attack.
Controls during combat. Press control while in the menu to change your character's control mode. You know, full control. I wish to casually dabble in combat. We know full control.
Here I go.
You're surrounded. Stay calm. This is it. Dig deep.
Oh god.
Here, let me help.
No, don't let them form a pack.
I actually almost died. I'm trying to. How do you do this? Ooh. Change your characters will fight in combat as well as who you wish to control. Determine what to press trigger to boost. Press QE during combat to change who you control. Q and E? That's a... It's control to... Why does the button look weird? Yeah. A keyboard does not have this random dot on control. Okay. Manual. That's what I want to do.
Take it!
We're getting started.
Touch cannon! You're mine!
Sighted.
Okay.
It's
You're
over.
mine! See ya! You're finished! Talon!
Have complete control in combat.
Landing Wyvern! I'm not done! Mirage! Here I come! It's over! I'm on it! Here I am! Strike! Talon Storm!
It'll take a while to get used to this.
Whoa! Take a look at that.
I see. Can I change the camera movement again? I don't change it so much because otherwise it'd be insane. Oh, why do I do this? Yeah, this first session is just gonna have a lot of like movement adjustments, so don't mind it.
Don't fight any enemies you can otherwise avoid, all right?
Makes sense. If we try to take them all on, there'll be no end in sight.
You sure won't hear me complaining.
Can I try this one? Oh.
This
wait.
one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
I'll run you through.
Oh,
See
dear.
ya. Swallow blade. Touch cannon.
There. Go. It's over.
Circle and bring them down.
Rising Wyvern!
Magna
I'll run you through.
Oh, orange node that can be destroyed after taking damage. Okay, so like a weak point.
I can feel my precision improving.
Let's go explore around as well, since it seems like we have a bit of that opportunity. Antidote rock. Storing it together with food will make that food last longer.
What a weird stone.
I sense a strange power from it. We should gather as many as we can find.
Okay. Wait, we could jump in this game? I didn't know that. Open. My bottles.
This is...
Seems you found something good. Supplies like that are valuable. Never overlook them.
Got it. I'll remember that.
Okay, now that I think about it, when that skid appeared, I heard a sound effect. So maybe it'll probably be, if just in case, like, it'll probably remind me through that noise. So I'll keep an eye out for the bottom and sound.
Let's stop a moment to catch our breath.
But I've barely worked up a sweat.
Speak for yourself. What do you want, a medal? Doesn't look like we're being followed. Fail to grab these rare moments of quiet when you can. You'll end up regretting it later.
You're the boss.
Camping out. Resting on a campground will restore your party's HP and CP. While resting, you can watch skits and cutscenes that you previously viewed. Oh. Or, you know, that's a thing.
Normally, we should take turns standing guard. But this first time, I'll watch over things so you two can rest easy.
I've never just sat and watched a fire like this before. It's surprisingly soothing.
Well, aren't you getting comfortable? You realize there are still Zeugles prowling around out here, right?
Ah, don't be a spoil sport. It's important to let your mind and spirit relax. Does you a lot more good than you might think.
I didn't see all the voice actor announcements in English, like, so we'll have to look into it when I'm later in my playthrough. There is the skit, Zephyr's teachings.
Zephyr, why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But...
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters. Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renin, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
A Renan?
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renan as long as they're on our side?
So you don't see every Renan as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renans. We only arm ourselves as much as we need to set ourselves free. If you can believe it, not every Danan agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danans?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, the time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
Oh wow, there's quite a few. Huh. Oh yeah, I think, oh yeah, well I don't know, like, all the voices I've heard so far, but I do know, like, the main cast, like, I've seen the Twitter announcements. For two of them I actually forgot because I don't know their roles too well, but two of our main characters here is voiced by Ray Chase, and if I'm right, Erica Lindbeck? I think I may have to check my Twitter likes because I liked her tweets, but yeah. So that's their English voice actors. Iron Mask's missing core.
How come you don't have a scar on your hand?
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right? But your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs. Why not?
I don't know. I don't remember anything about myself from before Doc found me.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
I'm not lying if that's what you think. Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am. But I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
Still.
Are you saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr.
It's bad manners to pry when you've got plenty to hide yourself.
You're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said, I'm not one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you.
The unflinching Iron Mask.
So this whole you not feeling pain thing, is that for real?
Why would I lie about it? And why would you care anyway?
No, it's just, you know, I can't imagine what it's like, that's all.
As a slave, I'd say it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Oh?
On the upside, when Renan soldiers push me around, I hardly flinch. The downside's that I get injured without even noticing. Which means I could be knocking on death's door and not even realize it.
Really?
Sure. I may be numb to pain, but it doesn't make me immortal or anything. Still, I wouldn't have noticed any of this if someone hadn't pointed it out to me. If not for my fellow slaves, I'd be long dead, lying in a ditch somewhere.
That's dark. Jeez, I wouldn't even know. I hate how this... I don't have downloadable content, because I actually bought the normal version of the game and not any special editions or DLC because I cannot. Oh, I can't save in here. That's fine. Okay, so. Ooh, so these are, yeah. Interesting. Okay, we don't have any more in the corner, so we can just rest.
A Master Core, huh? Now I see. So that's why Balsef's cronies were so desperate to catch her.
Is that what it's called? The jewel in her chest?
Oh, right. You don't remember a damn thing, do you? Fair enough. Guess it's time to fill you back in. Tell me, you ever wonder why we Dahnans are made to work ourselves to the bone, day in, day out?
Well, when you put it like that, I always just assumed we were mining resources for them.
Then don't you think it'd be quicker if they used all that high-powered tech they have? Why go to all the trouble of relying on weak human labor? Listen, what the Renans are really after isn't resources or minerals. It's astral energy. They're harvesting the astral energy that sleeps inside all matter in life forms. And they're doing it the same way they have for the past 300 years, using us Dahnans as mere siphons.
Right. They have machines for minerals, but extracting from Dahnans requires spirit cores. Any astral energy collected passes through a spirit vessel on its way to being stored in a master core.
But why go to the trouble of collecting all this energy in the first place? Do they really need all that juice just to use astral arts?
It determines the Sovereign.
Sovereign? Is that the Renan ruler?
Exactly. 5 lords, each doing whatever it takes to gather as much astral energy as they can and store it in their master cores. Whichever of them manages to accumulate the most power at the end of their contest is crowned the ruler of the Renan motherland. A new crown contest, as they call it, is held every decade or so.
So you see, the master cores are the receptacles in which the lords store their power. And we Dahnans are sacrificed, so the Renans can choose their new ruler.
That's insane! You're telling me that's what our people have been dying for this whole time?
Relax, hero. You're not the only one who's bent out of shape about the whole thing. There are 2 things that I haven't been able to get my head around yet. What business would a Renan have stealing a Master Core? And what's the deal with that blazing sword?
I think the sword is a physical manifestation of the Master Core's astral energy. As for why it took the shape of a sword, well, I don't know any more than you do. Honest.
And that stuff about needing your permission to use it? What was that about?
I'm the only one of us who can control the Master Core to some extent. Without me to adjust the flow of astral energy, the sword can't take a physical form.
What do you want out of this? You may be one of them, but you don't strike me as the ruthless oppressor type.
I'm going to take down all of the lords.
Never thought I'd say this, but I like the cut of your jib, Renan. Very well. As far as we're concerned, the struggle continues either way. And with that sword on our side, our chances of victory just increased. That is, of course, assuming we can count the 2 of you in.
Fine by me. After all, it sounds like we're after the same thing anyway.
Honestly, I'm still a little confused by all this. But if it's a choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
Then it's settled. Together, we'll overthrow the Renan lords. And first up on that chopping block is Balseph, the wild beast. Sound good?
I've gotta hurry.
We have another secret hideout in Ulzebek, not far from here. We should be able to meet up with our comrades there.
Okay, that was a bit of a spooky little scene there. Okay, there's a cutscene. I mean, skit. Reminiscing.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
I know I already asked you this, but are you sure we haven't met somewhere before?
What's so hard to understand? I'm Renan, you're Danon. There's no way. Besides, I'm from Lenegis. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
Lenegis? You mean the same Lenegis that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renan's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renan Lords descend for the crown contest?
And how long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess not.
I hate camping out.
Okay, so how's the map look? We obviously came in this direction. Forgetting, when I press M, I have to press escape to close the map. Look at this, it's so nice looking. What's that? Wait.
We should be able to eat this. Whenever you find some, make sure to grab it.
It's edible, huh? Good to know.
Definitely.
I can't look down at this map. Okay. You know, considering what I know about Tales games, I think we will eventually reach a point where we can get side quests and stuff. Oh, swim. This actually... Wait, no, I did see this in a trailer that we could swim. Why am I...
What's this thing?
Always explore. That's kind of the role of stuff with JRPGs. And then I suddenly forgot what a JRPG was. We're looking around. Obviously, rule number one with games that are really big, open worldish, like story ones, explore. Always explore. Oh, and also I did mute myself if you heard like a clicking noise because the dog in my house decided it was a good idea to bark. I hate that. I'm so used to like other games.
That's one enormous stray.
I don't think we can take it right now.
Giant Zoogles roam around certain areas. They're very hard to fight, but you can hear very... Okay, probably not a good idea to fight that yet. Unless I want to like finish myself. Okay. Anyways, I'm so used to some other games where I just can attack in the overworld. I'm so used to that.
We've almost made it to Ulzebek.
I don't think it's a good idea to fight that thing yet. I'm not confident.
What's this thing?
What's the map look like there? I don't feel confident in fighting this thing. So we're gonna skip that. I mean, we could test our luck and see what will happen, but I'd rather not. And I'm saving for completely different reasons. Okay. I'd rather not risk it yet. It's like a Tales of Zestiria where I found this really tough enemy and then I died immediately, so you know. And it was abnormal, so we're not gonna risk it.
Normally I don't pick on the weak.
Take this! You're finished!
Oh,
You're surrounded! Just stay calm! That is coming!
Take this!
Guess we gotta roll with it.
Take it! It's over!
Swallow
I'll
blade!
run you through!
Rising Wyvern!
Talent Storm!
Mirage! Take this!
I did.
You're mine!
Oh.
I'm on it!
You're finished!
That is coming!
Rising Wyvern!
You're
No
mine.
escape! Mirage!
That was almost too easy.
It'll take a bit to kind of get comfortable with the combat, with the mouse and keyboard and stuff, and camera movements, and also pay attention to the corner of the screen
What's
while
this
we're
thing?
at it, so I don't. Wait, what? Mr. Seaweed. How do I know? Oh, seaweed. There. Okay. It's like, where's the CP? Okay, there's something. Just, I'm guessing bombs. Okay, we can sim in a little bit. I do want to fight every enemy we come across. Yeah, probably definitely a good idea we don't fight this guy, considering obvious reasons. So, you know. What a bird?
I'll take you all on!
Slash!
You're mine!
I'll run you through! That is
Rising
coming!
Wyvern!
Talent Storm!
You're mine! You're mine! It's over!
Mega Ray!
Take this!
I'll run you through! See
Here's
ya!
a healing art!
Talent
Here I
Storm!
come!
First aid!
It's over!
Ouch!
How's this?
Oh, man! Ah!
They've really got us on the ropes.
Don't forget to heal your wounds.
We're almost dead. I don't trust myself. Anything. Okay, back. I'm pressing back, please.
Woohoo!
Oh, thank you.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
That's an unusual bird.
It's an owl. They're
Thank-
often used as a symbol to represent ancient Dana.
Huh. Okay, so like 3 little attachments? I'm not gonna bother with attachments in this playthrough. I'd rather keep everything vanilla for the experience. Because otherwise we'll just have broken immersion of someone with a dog tail and that wouldn't make sense. I think I could like
Let's dispose of the trash.
Swallow blade!
Don't go charging off like that!
Rising Wyvern!
Talent Storm!
Strike! Mirage! Here I come!
Mega Ray!
No escape! Slash!
I'm on
Rising Wyvern!
That is coming!
Mirage!
I'm starting to understand how this all works.
Everything's coming up, Zephyr.
A little bit. It's working. Sunlight can relieve numbness when rubbed, making it prized by those who have to maintain the same posture first. Okay. Not sure what that would do, but okay. Okay, make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, so we're gonna ignore the big guy in this map right here. I don't trust myself. And again, considering my experience with Zestiria, I'd rather not risk it. So I feel like we could come back here at some point. So it wouldn't be so bad. Like we might have be a cutscene. I got the dog. Well, sit back.
Okay, people, this is it. Ulzebek.
No sign of any Renan guardsmen.
The Renans aren't as populous as the Danans. Probably figure stationing guards in a place like this would be a waste of precious manpower.
So this is where the next safe house is?
Yes. The last place they'd think to look for enemies is on their own doorstep.
That is, assuming anyone actually made it here before us.
Zephyr!
Looks like we needn't have worried. Come on.
Head to the hideout. Why is my dog barking? It's annoying. Oh, so you're the new recruit that Zephyr brought in, eh? I guess. Interesting. And I expected to be the one and only Iron Mask of all people. Wow. Anyway, there's a lot I need to properly fill you in on. Is there anything you want to know? Well, what is this place? This is Ulzebek. It's a Danan enclave like plenty of others in this realm. Unlike Moscow, which is mainly a mining area, this place mostly produces food and other daily essentials. The Bright Eyes rarely show their faces here, which is why we made it our headquarters. Is there anything else you want to know? What situation? Our friends have made it back from the old Xenon mine. Unfortunately, not everyone made it out of there alive. We had to make sure their sacrifice won't be in vain. Am I really that famous? Are you so surprised? Of course you're famous, tough guy. Hard for people not to notice you wearing that mask of yours. And as if that's not enough, you're always going out of your way to help people and make life less miserable. It's no wonder people talk about you. With that kind of reputation, I say you definitely belong with the Crimson Crows. Okay. Alright, catch you around. Just look out for armored soldiers and Zoogles when you go out, okay? Got the dog. I need to ignore the dog. How do I... Oh. Bro, what happened to you? Your brother bit off more than he could chew. It's no use. I can't take on those Bright Eyes. Sounds like there was an explosion along the tracks. Did it? Oh my god, my dog. I don't know if you guys could hear him bark, but I hope you guys don't. I can't do anything. Okay. Did Crimson Crows cause that? Sounds like... Oh, wait. Stay around here either, and they just like they did in Moscow. These chickens had just laid their eggs. Those damn Bright Eyes, they took every last egg. I can't spare a single one. God, everything's so messed up. What kind of makes sense considering? Come on, quit standing around talking. We've got water to carry. And you saw all those Crimson Crow members. They were hurt. Those Bright Eyes must have got them. I wonder if we're next. I don't know. That says the Bright Eyes can't afford to just kill their workers. And maybe they changed their minds. Oh my god, the dog. I can make just about anything. Food, clothing, furniture. Not that there's anything left to make things with. Oh. I want to jump in there, but I feel like it's so bad. I do so. Where's the dog? Give me a second. I can't get up. And I know, I don't want to. I'm so comfortable playing the game right now. I wonder how much longer this fighting will go on. I got an injured coat because of it. It's getting worse. Having living anger here. I don't want to jump in this, but I feel like I don't think I can. Oh my god. Give me a second. This is really annoying me. Okay. Okay, I have returned. Hopefully the dog shuts up. It's not mean. The dog is just super annoying. I could jump in here, right? I feel like I can't. I don't want to. Oh. I just want the sparkly. Is it so hard? Oh, I can't.
What's this doing here?
Apple chip. Okay. Okay, we're not doing that again. That's so weird. I was like, I feel so bad jumping in this, and I don't want to, but I want to get the sparkly because it's on the map. These injuries should heal eventually. When they do, I'm getting sent back to Moscow. I doubt I'm going to make it out of there alive this time. Okay. This is a ladder. Okay, not this way. Where's that ladder? Oh, whatever. Oh, it's in here. Yeah. I think you're joining up with the Crows and Crows. You with him, but what can you do? Your body is so weak. You still fight. Got to. It's for our kids to give them a future. You got to understand. I know, but... Okay, I'm not gonna read all these out loud because it'll get really tiring from my throat. Okay. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't check over here. Nothing's changed. How they operate. I'd give it a second time before you do some moral regret. We're trying to fight them with suicide. So I want to. All this dark talk just makes today's work that much harder to get through than it already is. There is so much, like, little bits of dialogue that you can just read. Oops. I don't know these old eyes anymore. Okay. Something happened. How long? And also a little something. Thanks to watching a number of playthroughs from this one YouTuber, Twitch streamer I watch, I sort of gotten into the habit of talking to NPCs a bit. A lot. Like every NPC in a map. Everybody collapsed from heat stroke while looking out for run-ins. Earlier. I didn't hear him wait. Okay, can't repeat what happened. Okay. Just go down.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
That went so quick. The loading screen. I don't have anything interested to tell you all, but you're more than welcome to take a look and see what I've got. So it's just, these. Come back anytime. Mark II aren't out there. What is... Oh, yes, that. Just in case. What the... Oh, I think it's just telling me where my quest is. Like, you messed open this door. I'm surprised the loading is pretty quick. Okay, soldiers up ahead. Get inside. How's... God, this is so messed up. This situation has...
Zephyr, you made it! See? I told you there's no way Zephyr would have kicked the bucket.
Fine, you were right. So, what's the plan?
Well, we've got an ace up our sleeve and the enemy's in disarray. I say we strike while the iron's hot.
So we're finally going head-to-head with Balseph.
That's right. We can't afford to mess this up. It's now or never.
Then now it is! We've all been waiting for this day for far too long!
Leave the plan to me. In the meantime... Yeah, you two need to do something about your outfits.
I have just the thing for your size. Stay right there, okay? Ta-da! I told you, it fits like a dream. I'm afraid we don't have any Renan clothing. I could find you some Danon outfits. But something tells me you'd rather pass.
Is this really that important?
In case you need reminding, I'm here because our interests overlapped. Nothing more. At no point did I say I've given up being a Renan.
Now, let's play nice. How about you ask Nath and see what he says? He's our one-stop shop for info around here. With any luck, he might just know something.
Fire. Archival's clothes received from Tilsa. That was made by stitching together pieces of cloth that the Crimson Crows collected. Oh, Zephyr left your party. Not surprised. What did I just... Oh yeah, the NPCs and the guy in that cutscene is Griffin Burns, I think. What am I listening? Oh, that's the owl. Oh my god, owl, please stop talking. Is the owl up here? Please, so I can make it stop. I just hear it. Please stop. I want to talk to the NPCs, but it's so loud. Okay, stop it, Robin-ears. Oh my god. You know when it comes to these kinds of games,
I'm surprised there are owls here, too.
Yeah, there are more of them around than I thought.
You know in games like these, I'm so tempted to put cosmetics on the characters, but I really don't want to. Like, at all. Although, I will say, if anyone watched my Zestiria playthrough, I think, I did it the same when I first played the game myself, that I put a cosmetic on one of the characters just for fun, because it just fits. And I'm like, you know what, I want to do this, and I did it. So that's like the one time I used like the little attachment cosmetic in a game. In an actual playthrough, I think. And I'm gonna keep on round 2. For a reason. Huh. Oh shoot! I should probably be careful. Oh, that was careless. That takes care of that and that. I guess that leaves this right here. And hurry and treat it before it gets bad. also nice to just like check everyone. Just slip down the ladder. I'm not sure I like our odds. It must be true. Just have to trust them. He's still talking to the others. You'll find him outside. You should go say hi to him. I want to talk to everyone. Oh. You're not only new here. You don't remember much at all, right? Well, if you got any questions, lead them out and I'll see what I can tell you. Oh wow, there's a lot. Got the remnants. Okay. Mostly waiting for it to the strike as we sabotage. Got until. Well, apparently our big chance is right around the corner if Zephyr and the rest are to be believed. The Bright Eyes wear those huge armor suits and fight using astral arts and sicking their Zeugles on people. If you try to take them head on. See greater numbers and by taking advantage of the terrain. I can't take them alone one-on-one like him, unfortunately. So we're so glad to have you two on board with us. Okay. Use all the help, basically. Also die. Enclaves where Dana slaves live. Oh yeah, fun fact. When I first seen the trailers and stuff, actually not really trailers. When I read the initial summary, like back in 2019, I pronounced a number of these names differently because I see the H and I think that's like supposed to be pronounced like da. So, yeah. It wasn't until obviously we got more info earlier this year that I have to correct myself on the pronunciation. Okay. I suppose there's one of producing food. I just don't have any outposts here and hardly come through on patrol. Okay. We give out supplies to the residents and help them with their needs. Doesn't hurt that nobody's a fan of the Bright Eyes either, though. The big planet in the sky is their homeworld, Brenna, while the smaller object is Lennigus. Their stronghold and where the Bright Eyes come from. When about that name, we call them Bright Eyes because their eyes light up whenever they use their astral arts. Pretty simple, right? Likewise, they love to call us Embeddeds, since we're all embedded with the Spirit Core as soon as we're born. That's interesting. A little bit info. When someone joins the Crimson Crows, they dig theirs out. It's their way of showing we're not slaves to anybody any longer. Charge the Lords of your different outfits from the rest. They're made of weird fabric and stick out like a sore thumb. Okay, anything else? Monsters you obviously tagging along with Bright Eyes. I can tell you how many different there are. Kinds there are. I don't know. Okay, they're all dangerous. Okay, strays, basically. Okay. Prefer the power set to use. Kind of magic. As much of a pain to deal with as their Zeugl pets. Okay. Well, if you think of something you need to add. Okay, just. Okay. I'm sorry, going to devise our plan of attack. Let them know that I intend to make you guys the centerpiece of the whole operation. Okay. Okay. And yeah. Okay.
Nath, we need your help.
Ah, damn. Never the manpower when you... Huh? Help, huh? What kind? Is it urgent?
Well, no, not exactly.
Well, in that case, would you mind helping me out with something first? The work's really piled up around here.
What is it you'd like us to do?
Anything you can manage. No one cares about us slaves. That's why it's all the more important that we stick together and take care of each other. Check in with that guy over there for details on what needs doing. And thanks in advance.
Okay.
I wonder if something happened.
Oh, I have... Okay, I literally pretty much talked to every single NPC in the map, so let's go. Huh.
hey.
Oh, okay, so dialogue I actually have to read. Nate sent us. He heard you might be a little short-handed.
Yes!
You could say that. Didn't think he'd send over to Iron Mask himself, though. Had a Bright Eyes with you? Sure we can really trust her? She's on our side. Zephyr can vouch for her. If Zephyr's good with her, then I guess we don't have a problem. What the hell? The name's Styron. I'm the one who runs this lodge. This is a lodge? But we all already have our own beds. We don't sleep on straw and rock-hard dirt around here. The Crimson Crows have their fair share of folks who are either knocking on death's door or can't otherwise move around openly. That's what this place is here for. To give people a place to rest up properly before they head off to fight. Everybody needs to rest. If you don't rest, you can't hope to fight the Bright Eyes at your best.
I guess.
Makes sense. What do you want us to do then? I need you to help haul in some cargo. I have some friends who are on their way to collect it from our hideout in the Sign-on mine. The mines? Is that really such a good idea after the Renans snuffed the place out? These are valuable items people risk their lives to gather. We need to get at least some of them back. It should be down around the Sandinus Ravine at this point. Meet up with them and help bring the supplies back to this lodge.
Got it.
You're welcome to use these facilities if you need to as well. I'll let you sleep here for free. Ooh, start quest. Supply procurement. Cool. Subquest. Okay, so I guess we're getting them now. Talking to someone with a letter icon will start a subquest. Clearing these subquests will earn you rewards, and you can accept as many of them as you like. You can also check each of their objectives from the activity records. Cool. Words.
I had no idea the Crimson Crows were so active.
You sound pretty thrilled by that.
Thrilled? Maybe. But I'll settle for hopeful. We know now that not everyone is rolling over for the Renans.
Okay. Wait. What am I supposed to do? Let's go save again because it's been a while. Wait, does it tell me how many? Oh wow, it tells me my playtime. Does it tell me on this screen? No. Usually when you pause a game for a Tales game, it would tell you how long you've been playing. Not through like the save menu or anything. Should we know? Okay. Okay, I'm stuck. Oh, right, I have to do this thing. Wait, how? Oh, yeah, that was I was trying to figure out is how do I check the... What is this? Doesn't tell me yet. I'm trying to figure out where to go. Oh, it's there. Wait, what is our level? Okay, I'm assuming this... Okay. Okay, so the game is not gonna give me a side quest list or something, so I can guess. Can I pick these guys? I mean, like, is it okay?
Right, here goes! Here I come!
Go! You're mine!
Swallow Blade! Take this!
Here we go!
Oh shit!
Here, let me help!
First
aid!
Please don't let me die.
I'm only getting started.
Swallow Blade! Here I come!
I'm
You're
only getting
finished!
started.
Mirage!
Mega Ray!
Take this! It's over! Slash!
Take it! You're mine!
I'm just dodging so I don't die.
Here I come!
Jeez.
Swallow Blade!
Take it! You're
Here
mine!
I come! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! You're finished!
It's over!
You're mine!
Mega Ray!
You're mine!
There! Hit again! Mega Ray!
Mirage!
I have to stop pressing buttons.
There!
No.
One more!
Jeez. I need to get better.
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
I want to fight that guy, but I'm scared that at level 6, I'm gonna die. So we're not gonna try. There's a time and place where I don't want to fight that kind of giant monster. Wait, that's back? Oh, I guess the fish collectibles respawn. Oh dear.
What? They're all dead? How did this happen?
Soldiers, that's how.
Are you Iron Mask?
Yeah, I am. Dairon sent me to help. Hang in there!
I'm so glad you made it. In the bushes over there. You'll...
Hang on. Shion, do something!
It's no use. He's already dead.
Damn them! They've killed so many of us, and it's still not enough! They won't be satisfied until they've wiped us all out like pests!
He mentioned something about those bushes. We should check them.
Is this a cooking pot? But what is it doing here?
If I had to guess, he put it there to make sure a Renan wouldn't steal it.
So even though he knew he was dying, he chose to use the last of his strength to hide it, believing somebody would come for it. I guess you think it's stupid getting killed over a silly trinket, huh?
No. Clearly he risked his life for something he believed in. I would never mock someone for that. However, it will be up to us to figure out the purpose behind his dying act.
We'll make sure it wasn't in vain. If nothing else, this proves that the Renans can be outsmarted. We'll carry out your will, and see it through to the end.
Then we'd better get going. We don't know when those soldiers might be back to make another sweep of the area.
So this is what it means to fight the Renans.
Sounds like you're kind of scared to me.
Of course I am. But if I'm gonna die one way or another, I'd rather go down fighting.
Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay. So we go back. I feel like it's not completely worth it to come climbing up and down this like thing just for fish. So I'll skip it. I genuinely want to fight that thing. I really do, but it's probably like, considering these enemies are like level 7 and I keep getting like hit really hard by them, I don't trust myself. So you know.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Here I go.
Swallow Blade! Try harder!
How? Can't.
Damn it! Swallow Blade! Mirage!
Okay. No.
Here's a healing art. First
You're
aid.
mine! It's over!
Mega ray.
Take this!
There. Go. I'm only getting started.
Rising Wyvern!
Take it.
Mirage!
You're mine.
Swallow Blade!
Here I go.
No, run.
Here I go. You're mine.
Strike! Rising Wyvern!
And again.
Mirage!
Mega ray.
I may have bit off more than I could chew.
Oh no!
Here I come!
Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Here's a healing art. First aid.
Okay, here I go.
Yeah, I just think we want to fight that one enemy because I suck right now.
Here I come! Mirage!
You're
Take
mine.
this!
I'm starting to understand things, but it's kind of hard when I get hit so hard by the things.
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Collect collect. Guess the goal is just keep fighting these enemies.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Struck! Swallow blade! Mirage!
Yep.
Go!
I like
Here I come! Slash! It's over! Rising Wyvern! Struck!
Ah! Oh, I
Only
see.
getting started.
Slash! Rising Wyvern! Struck! Mirage! Here I come! It's over! Here I come!
Here I go.
Oh, no, please.
You'll pay for that!
Oh, no!
You're mine!
How do I get to menu? Great. Alright.
A new lease on life.
You're mine! Swallow blade! You're finished!
I don't want her.
Looks like it could be worth something.
I don't want her down, otherwise she won't get the EXP. All that, went, swimmingly. I'm terrible at this. It's only on normal, by the way. It's on normal. This is normal. Probably when we have, like, I guess, like, things or stats, it'll be a bit easier to deal with other things going on. Okay, let's keep going. Damn, so nobody made it, huh? I'm sorry. If we'd arrived just a little sooner, we could have... Hey, these things happen. It hurts, but this is the world we live in. I'll take good care of what you brought back. It's the only way we can respect the sacrifice of those we've lost. Hey, when's Daddy coming home? Oh no, sweetie. Oh no, that's the guy's kid. Not yet, sweetie. Your dad's gone away for a while and... Don't lie to me. He's dead, isn't he? Oh my god. Oh god. I know that whenever grown-ups look sad and say someone's gone, they always mean they're dead. Daddy always warned me that this might happen one day. He told me to stay strong and be brave. So This isn't right. Our kids shouldn't have to be dragged into our own mess. Let's report back to Nace, and then get ready to fight. Ooh, and I got an achievement for that. Ooh! Blaze Spark. Ooh! I'm getting achievements. Skill, Counter Edge. After a perfect evade or perfect guard, press Q to trigger an immediate counterattack. Oh yeah, I think I already briefly mentioned this early on that I was pressing the left mouse button and that still let me attack. Oh, what? As you fulfill certain requirements for each of your characters, you'll earn titles for them, which unlock arts and skills that it can then learn, making fights easier. Yeah, please. You can view title unlock requirements from the skill panel. You can spend skill points, SP, to learn arts and skills from unlocked titles, all of which grant powerful effects, making it worth your while to spend SP early and often. The skill panel can be accessed directly by pressing B. Okay, so that's... okay, B. There's the skill you want to learn but just don't have the SP for. Highlight it in the skill panel and press F. Doing so will turn on alert. Ooh, nice. What was that noise? I'm gonna check what the weather is where I live. Cause it's... oh, it's stormy. Great. I don't want it to power go out though. No. If the power goes out, that's the end of the stream. So, oh, we can zoom in. Ooh. AG. Oh, is it the little triangle? Yeah, it looks like it. Like the little diamonds, not triangles. Wait, how many? 260 something. Oh, we automatically have that. Oh, this is already got it. Oh, okay, I'm dumb. What is for now. Maybe like use. Let's get a skill first. Okay, maybe we'll get this like later, but wait. Oh, she has some things. Oh, I can move. Waits to the right, then fires 2 water shots. Oh, that's use, but let's focus on getting like skills. Ooh, that a lot is good. Ah. Let's get that for now. Let's do that next. What is RT? Oh. Oh, I see completion bonus for the thing. Oh, I didn't know. So hers, okay, completing the whole thing is defense. Actually, take it off. Defense is probably better, but whatever. Let's try to get that next. I don't know. Still pretty early in the game. We'll figure things out as we progress. Speak to Nace again. Oh, I see the escape. Wait, press Alt to view main story. Subscribe to objectives. Oh. Ah, cool. Anyways.
Try to be careful not to stand out too much. You're the only Renan around here, you know.
I know. I was just thinking about how communal it feels here, even though it's only supposed to be slave quarters.
Huh? Oh, yeah. When you put it like that, I guess it is different from heavily patrolled Mosgul. Were you expecting something more depressing?
It's likely a sign that Balseph doesn't think you guys can do anything to him.
What?
I mean, if Balseph thought the Crimson Crows actually posed a threat to him, you'd figure he'd be trying harder to suppress them.
You... No. You're probably right about that. All of the other Danans that aren't with the Crimson Crows accept the Renan's rule as simply a fact of life. From the day we're born, no, probably even before that, it's been drilled into us that the only purpose our lives have is to help select the next sovereign.
If they don't like the status quo, then they should fight it. Otherwise, they're endorsing it either way.
I see it differently, but that's just me. Speaking of Renans, do all of them think about things the way you do?
I won't deny that among my fellow Renans, power and status are everything. However, that isn't what this is about for me. I have something I need to do. And I'll do whatever it takes, and use whoever and whatever I need in order to get the job done. To hell with power. Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
Yeah, we're gonna have like dialogue like this. Probably. Very likely. My legs. Oh yeah, also, again, it's raining outside, so there's a chance that the power might actually go out. And that means the stream is gonna abruptly end. So, yeah. And that happens, that's the end of the stream. Okay, I'll save. Ooh, skill. Oh, yeah, this... Yeah. Wait, no, I meant to save the game. This is gonna forever notify me constantly, isn't it? I'll check it again after my stream, but I really wish it'd stop notifying me.
I feel like somebody's watching us.
Maybe there's someone around here who needs our help.
see something on the map. Oh, so
I'm skeptical.
you must have gone through the Sandinus ravine to get here, right? Is that Zoogle still out there? Big eye, looks like an insect with wings. Has scythes for arms.
Right.
Yeah, we saw it. Looked big and pretty tough to boot. That's the one. It's hard to feel safe knowing it's still out there. I'd really like to see it get its comeuppance comeuppance one of these days. I think I have noticed like at least like 2 typos now, but that's fine. These games are massive, like, so a few typos is not a big deal. Especially since the people that deliver that comeuppance are gonna enjoy a pretty mighty pay on account of all the materials they'll earn. Oh yeah? Yep. Zoogle materials are imbued with astral energy, so the stronger they are, the more energy their materials contain. We can use them to make new weapons and stand up to the arena a little better, even with our astral art handicap. With the odd stray, I can usually gather a few people and get the materials myself. But something that big's bound to be beyond my capabilities. If only there was a good way to beat it. We're not trying to. I want to try.
Alright.
What's it? I don't see the harm in us checking it out. Do you hear what you're saying? We've got enough to worry about as it is without inviting even more danger. Your Renan pal's right. I know you're strong, but I think he's a Zoogle might be on you. Is the game self-aware that I can't do this? Sound like I need you guys to take it down for us right away, but how should I put it? If anybody has a shot at it, I think it'll still be you guys eventually. Once you feel like you're up to the challenge, that is. When you are, would you be willing to give it a shot? You can bring other people along with you to help, of course.
Got it.
Sure, that sounds fair. We'll get it taken care of for you sooner or later. Okay, so is this gonna be a quest that I could just do whenever? You know, we should totally have experimented with that thing and see what level it is. I hope that's a quest I could always go back to, because I don't think I could do it, because those they say it was a tough guy, and it's, how do I? That's that thing. Can it tell me? Oh, that's a lot of SP. Can it tell me the level? Like, please? Wait, no. I have to come back. I hate this sometimes. And here's like a bunch of other things. I think this could be a quest we could do later, so just in case, we'll save. Because I honestly wasn't confident. I just said yes because I thought I was like gonna be like, oh, it'll put me in my thing into quest log. Yeah. I don't know, based on the dialogue, it sounds like I could do it later, so it's okay. We'll skip it for now, as I am not confident in dealing with it.
You're back, huh? Sounds like it was a real ordeal out there. Much as I hate to admit it, there aren't many of us who can take on those Renan armored soldiers.
All we can do is make sure we remember those who sacrificed their lives for the cause.
Yeah, they won't be forgotten.
Glad to hear it. Now, what was that favor you wanted to ask me?
Oh, right. Well, you see...
So then, you're wondering if I know of any places where you can find Renan equipment, huh?
Anywhere with those damn bright eyes is gonna have tight security, of course. You can't just go carelessly poking around. Unless... Across the wilderness outside Ulzebek, you'll find the Fagin ruins. There's some kind of old Renan castle out there.
What with it being impenetrable, I forgot.
But with a Renan tagging along, who knows? Maybe you can find some way in. You ask me, though, it's a lot of trouble for some Renan rags. If I were you, I'd get comfortable with Dannen garbs.
Those look like the ruins. Let's move.
Are we really going in there?
Yes. Now let's move.
Okay. Renin technology.
Hey, Shion. Where does your gun come from?
What do you mean, where does it come from?
When you're fighting, it looks like it just appears out of nowhere.
Oh, that's transferal technology. When I don't need my weapon, I submerge it in empty space. And when I do, I summon it. Make sense?
Not really, but it sounds pretty amazing.
Huh?
Well, that way you don't have to carry around any heavy weapons or worry about enemies trying to steal them, right? It's a pretty cool invention.
You realize you're praising the technology of your enemies, right?
So, technology's technology. It's not good or bad in and of itself.
I guess that's true.
Okay. I already got the owl. I don't know why there's still a mark on the map there. Okay, so we got that cyclist. Seems like it'll be fine if we skip it for now, because I'm assuming that enemy is like level 10 or something. I actually don't know, because I'm not gonna try my luck. Oops. Okay. So, yeah, visit the ruins, so this way, I think. Right? Yeah, but wait. Yeah.
Am I really doing this for some lousy cloak? There's Zeugles here too?
Hey!
You should always assume there's Zeugles anywhere you go. They're one of the reasons I need you all. We're a team after all, and that means you need to pull your weight. So when I call for you, I expect you to clear out any enemies around me. What? Why do I have to do all the... In exchange, when you call for me, I promise I'll shoot down any enemies around you too. Sound fair?
Right.
Yeah, alright. If you don't get in the habit of speaking up during fights, that'll impact morale and our ability to combo together. So make sure to do it often. Got it?
Just a minute.
Looks like the enemy spotted us. Time to get to work. You don't have to tell me that. Boost attacks. You can summon allies in combat to use their unique boost attacks. Once the boost gauge BG is full, press the corresponding direction to execute. Restore AG when used. Although the boost gauge builds up automatically over time, it can be filled up faster by landing attacks and counter edges on enemies as well. Oh, whoa. Iron Mask boost attack. Initiates a brute force swing attack that can down almost any enemy. Use it to get allies out of deep trouble and create openings for additional attacks. Toriel!
With that blade and your strength, the average Zeugle shouldn't be a problem, right?
I'll give it a shot.
Here I go!
You're finished!
You're mine!
Okay, do it.
By the power of water!
Eat dirt! Take this! It's over!
They've got me in their sights.
Shion's boost attack. Fires numerous beams of light from the muzzle of Shion's rifle. Effective on aerial enemies, it temporarily restricts their flight abilities and announce them.
Flyers!
This one's mine! I'll shoot them down!
Take this!
Let the marksman handle this!
Oh wow. Oh, I remember seeing this on the trailer.
It's over!
Gemini off! Take it! This one's mine!
Take this! That's it?
Take this! You're
Primed and
finished!
ready! Where are you going?
Success! Okay, boost attacks. Teaming up with other party members for boost attacks allows you to keep attacking enemies longer. Different members work better against different enemy types, so don't be afraid to mix and match to maintain the upper hand in battle.
This one's
You're mine! It's over!
Gemini Alpha!
Take this!
This one's mine!
Flash! Rising Wyvern!
I'm only getting started! Who
Take
wants
this!
to die next?
Eat dirt!
Mega Ray!
Take this!
Did I
on mine.
This is it. Magna Ray.
Slash.
Gemini Aqua.
I'm not done. Eat dirt.
Ooh. Okay, this will make battles so much easier. Looks like you've got the hang of it, but don't let it go to your head. Those were easy ones. I know, I know. Yeah, it's definitely gonna get harder, obviously.
Looks like it could be worth something.
Ooh, membrane wing.
Ugh, you can hardly see anything from here.
Why don't we climb up higher and see if we can get a better view?
So there's something. Wait, where's? Oh boy. Yeah, we'll do that later. Priorities. So oh, E. God, I can't see too much. Like, well, it's like one thing that we'll definitely see for the rest of the game anyway, but we're not there
What's
yet.
this thing?
It's a potato. What do you think it is? I like how I just answered, technically answered that question without even, like, it's like, isn't it obvious? Oh, oops, I'm stuck. Where'd I go?
So these are the Fagin ruins? How'd you figure a place like this turns derelict?
Your guess is as good as mine. I didn't even know this place existed until we heard about it. All that matters to me is whether I can find anything to wear in there.
Why does she care so much about her appearance?
I don't know. Preference? Oh, oops.
There.
And we almost broke our knees. Or feet. I don't know what would be.
Out of our way.
No escape.
They've got me surrounded. Here, let me look. If it's in the sky, it's mine.
No escape. Slash. Rising Wyvern. Strike.
Magna Ray.
We turned the tables on them.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back.
There. Two more. Magna Ray.
Mirage. You're
Gemini
finished.
Aqua.
I can feel my power growing.
Yeah. Battles are now a bit easier to deal with. Yay! It's nice. So, okay, the map is saying we can't actually walk into that. Potatoes. I'm gonna assume, like every Tales game, we're gonna get a cooking mechanic. So that's pretty obvious, honestly. Uh-oh. No!
An opponent like this should be easy.
Go! Come on! I'll blow you to smithereens!
Strike! Mirage! Take this!
Insects should stay on the ground.
You're finished!
It's over!
Skill. Yeah, but we have to make sure everything is recovering.
Let a marksman handle it.
All yours! Swallow blade!
Why can I hit it?
Take this!
Here's a healing art. First aid.
Okay, here I go. Strike!
That gun of yours is real handy in a pinch.
It takes a true marksman to use.
Well, can't think of anyone better than you, Shield.
Here I come! Slash!
There.
Rising Wyvern! No escape!
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
You're finished!
Where are you going? This is it.
No escape!
Wait, how do I switch targets in battle?
Seems about right to me.
Oh my god. It's so weird to use E to collect stuff because I play so much Genshin that I press F to collect and talk to NPCs. Okay, how do I, what is this thing? Wait, what's skill panel? Anyways, what am I trying to do? Oh yeah, figure out what the thing is. Do I know how to switch enemy, like, focus? Oh, try, oh, AD, as you hold Alt. Okay, so, That's what I do. I want to make sure I'm collecting stuff, so... So, definitely all the way there, I'm guessing. So... I can't get in there. Wait, can I? I think I can. Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, I see. There's an opening here.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Swallow Blade! Here I come! Mirage! It's over! You're mine! Take this! Here I come! Here I come! You're finished! Mirage! Here I come!
Together, that wasn't even a problem.
Okay, let's see. Also, naturally, rule of thumb with how I play games, I'm always gonna fight enemies because, you know, it's always good to get the XP.
An opponent like this should be easy.
You're mine! Slack! You're mine!
That buzzing is driving me mad.
Where are you going?
Take this! You're finished!
These are...
Here I go!
Swallow Blade!
You're mine!
Next!
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart to your heart's content.
It's over!
Gemini Aqua!
I'm not done! Rising Wyvern! I'll take you next time! Here I come!
By the power of
You're
water!
finished!
Almost dead anyway, so
Take this!
just deal with it.
It's over!
Here I go!
Yeah, it's almost dead.
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Okay, that's a lot of things. Oh, it's back there. Okay. Let's see. Can I save any time? Yeah, I can. I don't want to keep playing this game for like a lot longer.
I won't forgive you! You're mine! Gemini Aqua!
You picked the wrong fight! You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
Excited! One more!
Mirage!
Mega Ray!
Strike!
Gemini Aqua!
Swallow Blade! Take this!
Be careful.
Rising Wyvern! Now, while it's reeling!
Take it down!
Mirage! Take this! It's over!
Okay, now I'm starting to get a hang of things.
We're in good form.
Guess it just simply takes like fighting a few enemies and more mechanics being added to battle to yeah. Oh my god, this I feel like I have to need to like just change the angle, but that there you can't.
Out of our way!
I'm not coming face me!
By the power of
Mirage!
water!
Here I come! You're finished!
I'm only getting
Oh,
started!
okay.
You're my...
Gemini, this one's mine!
Take this!
We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left!
Right. No time to hold back.
Here I come!
Here.
That's what I like to hear.
We'll get like other things like equipment or something. A bit later. Ooh. Skills. Wish you could get this now. My god, it really is raining where I live. Because it's actually thunderstorming.
Get lost!
Here I come!
Go find someone else to pick on!
Swallow Blade!
By the
Take
power
this!
of water!
It's over!
Oh gosh.
Take this!
There!
Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! Take this! It's over!
There! Help this! Mega Ray!
Nicely done,
They're really doing it.
Step it up!
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's actually so
got
here.
it.
Let me help!
I know some people say like, it's not safe to stream in the middle of all this,
You picked the wrong fight! Here I come! You're
but
How this
yeah.
one's mine! Who wants to die next?
Get closer to the enemy.
Rising Wyvern! Swallow Blade!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I don't know
I'm
if
right
it's,
behind you, Shion.
I don't know if it's obvious, but I feel like you guys could probably tell that I want to say something. But as you all know, I'm trying to prevent myself from doing so because of the obvious reasons. So, it's tempting, but I really want to respect people who are probably watching and haven't seen trailers. So,
Right, here goes!
I'm only getting started!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage! You're my... I'm not... Damn it!
I never miss!
Strike!
Mega Ray!
Slash! Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Take it! You're mine!
Take this!
I still get pretty hit really badly, but it's fine.
We managed to pull through.
Wait, how many is... Oh, that's what the bonus is going for. Like, SP. I feel tempted not to obviously walk on the burning rocks, but, you know. What the? App action. Oh, yeah, let's go down here first. Oh, what's this? You got some mean Zoogles locked up further in. Keeping a close eye on them to make sure not a single one breaks loose. Okay, so we can't really do anything here. That's fine. Actually, now that I think about it, even if no one watched the trailer, you guys would probably see so much fan art as the official Twitter account pretty much makes it obvious anyway, without trying, so. But still. It's kind of my rule of thumb. I rather not say anything until the game, you know, gets to the point, so, you know.
Gotta break
Here,
through!
let me help.
Take this! Come one, come all! Rising Wyvern! Strike!
There! Go! You're mine!
Mirage!
Gemini Aqua!
I'm not done! Take this!
One more!
It's over!
Mega Ray! By the power
Rising
of water!
Wyvern! No escape! Mirage!
Okay, we don't have any other art, so we're repeatedly using the same one.
Take this! Rising Wyvern!
You're mine!
Mirage!
Barely a blip on our radar.
Spotted cat ears.
I'm surprised there are owls here, too.
Yeah, there are more of them around than I thought.
That's why you explore in video games. You get to see all these little thingies everywhere. Kind of makes sense they made the first one easy. That's spot. Okay, I'm trying to check and make sure I'm not missing anything. Did I? Why does it feel like I just walked through this? It's not. Oh, it's down below me, I think. Wait, is it? No, it's not. What? No, I cannot face through walls. It's probably... whatever, who cares. Anyways, let's just go. I better not vault. We can press spacebar. Okay. Okay, we can't do anything there yet. We tried. We can't really do anything there yet. Oh I can run with right click. Okay, I was like, there has to be a sprint in this game.
Right, here goes! Here I come! It's over now!
What? Ooh.
Rising Wyvern! This one's all mine!
Oh. Oh god. Oh!
Here's the healing arc! Now I can let loose! Here I come!
Where are you going?
Swallow Blade!
I learned an art and almost died while doing so.
These little ones are hardly worth our time.
Less talking, more pummeling.
Cut them apart.
That's what I like to hear.
Okay. I learned something. Wait, what is... I got a new one. Count. Ooh. Let's go put that on because we have 3 different. I guess it makes it more powerful. I don't know how that works. Once the character's art proficiency has reached a certain threshold, they'll learn. Ooh, new arts. Interesting. Wait. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Ow. I like how we're now like in a bit of core exploration now. I like to get to a certain point. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Obviously, I don't know anything of like what goes on in this story. It's something to reveal really early on after the game was
An
announced.
opponent like this should be easy. You're finished!
Here's a healing arc.
I'm gonna die.
Did you just heal me?
Yes, I need you, remember?
Right.
Here I come! You're finished! You're mine! You're finished!
Jesus.
You're mine! You're finished!
I almost died.
Here I come! Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! Cut! Mirage!
You're
Here I come! It's over! Here I come! It's over!
Okay.
Here I come!
Take this one's mine.
It's over!
Magna Ray.
Oh my gosh.
I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Still striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong when battle is a part of your everyday.
Nice to know. I want to get this. I did want that, but this. I want to get scales. Attack. This is good, but it's a lot. Let's try that next. Just putting anything on for now. Okay, this is a dead end here. Oh wait, I didn't check arts. Oh, that costs a lot, but it's fine.
What's this thing?
It's nice to hear Ray Chase, again in a game. Yeah, some people don't know. I'm pretty sure it should be obvious, considering he kind of mentioned it in his tweet as well that he did voice in Tales of Berseria as the. Is it obvious that the guy is in Berseria is the antagonistic like character? I think so. I don't know. But yeah, he voices that character in the game. Tales of Berseria game. Okay. Let's try to make sure. Oh god. God, what?
Gotta break through!
Take it. You're mine. Gemini Aqua.
Eat dirt! Swallow Blade! Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! I'm not done! You're mine! You're finished!
Oh wait, I should probably...
I never miss! It's weakened!
This ends...
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Also, I just realized that is good, but I do... Oh yeah, I probably want to crit increase first. We should definitely max out, like, things, or try, as we continue on. Again, it's only been like 2.5 hours into the playthrough so far, so we have plenty of time to kind of get our bearings, I guess. I can't wait till like we get to see something though, like I'm sorry, I just keep thinking about things and I'm like, I can't wait until I don't know when to
I wonder if those are the Fagin ruins below us. Shouldn't be too much farther now, if that's the...
I guess it's been a while since I had a bite to eat. Don't worry about me. I'm used to working while I'm hungry. It's no big deal.
It is a big deal. You should eat whenever you can. The last thing I need is you keeling over in the middle of a fight just because you didn't eat.
Never thought I'd get lectured on eating by a Renin, of all people.
Yeah, well, some of us Renins know what it's like to go without food, believe it or not.
What do you mean? I thought...
This isn't about me. Now, are you going to eat or not?
I would, if we had anything to eat, but we don't.
Actually, I have a little bit of food on me.
You've been carrying that stuff around this whole time? I'm not sure it's gonna be enough for the both of us, though.
That's why we're going to cook it instead.
Cook? I've never done anything like that before.
Me neither, to be honest. But we've got to make something out of all this, so might as well try.
What are you staring at me for?
Your clothes are all about function over form. You should think about sprucing them up a little.
Why? What purpose would it serve?
I guess you're right. I just think you'd look good with a little blue thrown in somewhere.
All right, I'll think about it.
Okay. Can't really do anything else. Summary. At camps and inns, you can cook meals, conferring temporary effects when eaten. New dishes can be made by finding recipes, while ingredients can be found at collection points in general stores. Eating a new meal overrides any previous effects. Okay, favorite meals. Depending on who in the party cooks a meal, the extent of their efforts and their duration will vary. As such, it's wise to rotate who's on cooking duty based on your current goals and the party's overall status. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we only have one. Real pack. Consume double ingredients for plus 90% to cooking. What? Expensive. Okay.
This should definitely keep you guys full.
It's only the two of us. Okay, let's be complete.
You really do eat through that mask of yours, huh? I'm impressed you can manage so well.
Huh? Oh, it's nothing. You get used to it after a while. Still, I'm glad we decided to stop and fill our stomachs. I've got a newfound respect for cooking now. But I guess that's easy when you're used to eating everything raw. It would have been perfect if it had any flavor.
Sorry it didn't live up to your palate.
Oh, no, that wasn't a knock on you. I was just... Sorry. That's not how I should thank you for cooking for me.
You've got me curious now. Is it just pain you can't sense, or are your taste buds shot too?
Oh, sure, my taste buds work fine. Although, apparently what I like tends to be a little out there.
How so? What's so unusual about what you eat?
Well, one time I couldn't get enough of these things I picked off a plant, but everyone else said they were way too spicy. Doc thinks maybe I crave spicy food to compensate for the lack of pain I feel.
Maybe it's best I take charge of the cooking. You know, just to be on the safe side. I can't guarantee it'll be to your tastes, though.
I said I'm sorry. Look, I'll learn to tone down my tastes in the future, so let's just put that slip of the tongue behind us already.
Ouch, my arm. So she has a little branch now too. Toxicity. Increase ailment bonus damage. Ooh. Oh, this. Wow, they're expensive skills.
Well, off we go.
Okay, we're good, I guess. Well, food icon, that's cute. And again. I'll go on for like another hour or something. Because I tend to want to make like these kind of games like the streams like much longer, since I know they're gonna take a long time to go through. Oh, my legs. Get cozy. Here we go. Pagan ruins. Because from what I know, when I play Tales games, I think, I don't know which game took the longest for me to complete. I think it was Tales of Graces. The Zestiria took less time-ish. Well, kind of missing a side quest or two here. And Berseria was, like, I took my time with that, but I didn't even finish the,
This must be it. Looks pretty ancient, but I recognize Renan architecture when I see it.
It's seen some beatings. If it stayed sealed all this time, it's not because people left it alone.
It's not just their technology. The Renans build their structures out of special materials, too. Strong enough to withstand assaults from Danon tools and weaponry, anyway.
So, how the hell are we?
Okay.
Easy.
Oh yeah, it has auto-saving. Feature. Mutual hunger.
Phew. That may not have been a fancy feast we just had, but I don't remember the last time I felt this full.
Do the Renans often not give you all enough to eat?
It's never enough. The Renans decide exactly how much we'll have and when we'll have it, and that's that. We do our best to get around it. Everyone has to grow their own food and such behind the Renans' backs in order to get by. Thinking about it now, I wonder if they've always kept it meager so we would never have the energy to try to resist what they've done to us.
Yeah. An empty stomach takes its toll on the body and the spirit after a while.
How does a Renan like you know what it's like?
I may be Renan, but they don't like me either. I could be squeaky clean and they still wouldn't give me anything.
Did your stomach just...
I didn't hear anything.
But you just ate. How are you already...
I said I didn't hear anything.
I still have some I haven't eaten yet. Do you want it?
Sure.
Okay. Anyways, about what I talked about before. Like, let's just focus on the game. It doesn't matter about, like, my experience with the other,
I hate that I can see what's on the other side. And I can't just walk in.
It's a defensive barrier. That's how it works. If we want to get through, we have to find the mechanism to lift it.
Anyways, as I was saying, like, let's just talk about the game. Oh yeah, I forgot. Shortcut commands. So, yeah, I can do that instead of having to go press escape. Okay, there we go.
Looks like this place used to be a supply base of some sort. It probably even dates back to the Great Conquest of 3 centuries ago.
For an abandoned place, it sure is crawling with critters. Kinda makes you wonder how they all got in.
Through cracks in the walls, I guess. Maybe it's a good environment for these species to propagate in. Best not to let your guard down either way. Best not to let your guard down either way.
Agreed. I don't know about you, but I'm not looking to hang around here any longer than necessary.
And that dialogue kind of played twice by accident.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Swallow blade! Rising wyvern! You're finished! Here I come! You're finished! Here I come! It's over! Rising wyvern! Mirage!
This could be useful.
Let's obviously take our time exploring, collecting stuff, fighting all the enemies. You know, the usual. Okay, that's like the way to go, but let's go this way first. These noises.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Rising wyvern!
Gemini
Front! Take this!
Gemini
Slash!
Magna Ray!
Slash!
By the power of water!
Rising wyvern! Struck! It's done!
Think again! Magna Ray!
You're mine!
Our work is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Seems like it's battles are starting to become more easier to do. I follow.
Is this a chest of some sort?
A Renin kind, yeah. We should definitely hold on to what's inside.
Oh, I forgot that. Okay, so now let's go to where the other, like, area is. Hearing these noises. Here you go. Ah, yes.
Gotta break through!
Here I go! You're mine!
Slash! Come and face me!
Here I go! This one's mine!
Rising wyvern!
There! How's
It's
this?
over!
Magna Ray!
Got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle it!
All yours!
Take it! Well, we're on the home stretch now.
Don't take your eyes off the prize.
I'm quite aware without you reminding me.
Swallow blade! You're finished!
How's this? Magna Ray!
Here I come!
By the power of water!
Looks like we won.
You know, now that I think about it, I wish more of the Tales games are on PC. Because, you know, like, a lot of older entries and stuff for games in general, like...
We've been walking around for a while now. Can we give up already?
What, you're tired?
Tired of something, all right.
I'm not giving up until we search every inch of this place.
She's really determined to find those clothes.
Right, that's why we're here. Anyways, like, you know, like how lately, like, there's a lot of, like, you know, time moves on, games, new games release, newer consoles and all that. But it's like, it's really sad that we're in this, like, point in time where, I don't want to do this yet, but anyways, wait, I want to, like, check back here real quick. Oh, wait. Oh, never mind. Wait, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, that's... I think I did. Let me double check. Anyways, as y'all know, like, you know, time goes on, games release, console, etc. Like, one thing I do wish is that, like, older games get, like, you know... I feel like I can jump, but I better not. But, like, one thing I do wish is that, like, older games or, you know, games on consoles that we can't access anymore. Or we could still try to get them, but it's, like, really, really rare. Like, I wish they're, like, released on, like, modern software or something.
Get lost!
I'm not done! You're finished! Demon Fang! No escape! Rising Wyvern! Here I
That didn't work.
Strike! Stardust! Here I come! Strike! You're finished! Demon Fang! You're finished! Take this!
By the power of water!
Onward and upward.
Anyways, because, like, one thing I'm, like, thinking about is, like the older Tales games. Like, I wish more of them was, like, released on,
Phew, what a rush.
Anyways, I'd like, I wish more of them were released on PC now, because, like... Because you have, like... some of the games, and they're, like, on consoles that no one pretty much has anymore.
Out of our way!
You know, console exclusives. Ouch. Oh, no.
Water! Here's a healing arc! If it's in the sky,
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Ah, right.
Stop you.
You're mine!
Oh, that's obvious.
No escape! Demon Fang! This one's all mine! Mirage!
I'm starting to
Onward and upward.
battles now. Just cool.
What's
Nice.
this thing?
Anyways. No, I can't do that. Sad, sad times. So, okay, I guess I can't do anything here.
There.
Oh, I can do that. That's also doable. God, I can sprint in this game. Okay, we're not going down there. Boost gel. And on there is just down there. Where is it?
Out of our way!
Here I come! You picked the wrong fight! Demon Fang! Here I come! Mirage! Here I try! I'm not a champ!
Here, let me help.
I'll take you all on! It's over!
Here
Demon
I go.
Fang!
It's over!
Here I come!
By the power
You're
of
finished!
water!
Stardust! Here I come! It's over!
Mega
Here I
Ray!
come!
Well then, let's keep moving.
Oh dear. The weather in my area is actually kind of bad. Ah, that must be the thing. Could I quickly run all the way there or something? Yep, that's that area. Let's go check it real quick. Which means you drop down again. And check it. Pierce Emblem.
That equipment should come in handy.
Okay, what is that anyway? discard it. Interesting. Anyways, what's it? Accessory? It doesn't tell me. Oh. It's telling me things. Wait. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'll just put it on him for now. Until we figure out everything else later. Again, it's only like the first 3-ish hours of the game so far for me, so as we continue playing, actually, as I continue playing, why do I keep saying we? I'm by myself playing this game in a sense right now. So, and speaking of which, my friend also got this game, but she hasn't started yet. Well, to be fair, both of us do have classes going on, so of course we're not like have a lot of free time and all that.
Is this Renin technology? I'm amazed you guys can pull something like this off.
For us, sites like this are completely normal.
Let's go.
This must be...
the former owner's old wardrobe, yeah.
I wonder how long they've hung here. They don't look like they've aged a day.
The designs are a little dated, but it'll have to do.
Listen, I get it. You care how you look. But we've got places to...
What is it?
No. Nothing. We've kept Zephyr and the others waiting long enough. We should head back.
Okay, let's head back to Ulzebek.
You're in a good mood. Were you that happy to find a new outfit?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm the same as ever.
Okay.
You said before that this probably used to be a supply depot, right? But Nay thought it was a Renin castle. I wonder what it actually is.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What, can't I not know something? You didn't think I knew every last thing about my own kind, did you?
I didn't say that.
From what I've heard, a lot of the materials that were initially brought over from Rena 300 years ago were repurposed for other things over time. So it's entirely possible that this place used to be both a supply depot and a lord's castle at different points in time. They're not mutually exclusive. I couldn't tell you when the lord's castle moved to its current location, though. Well, satisfied?
Yeah. Thank you. You know, for telling me about all that.
It's not like I mentioned anything that useful. Come on, let's keep moving.
Okay. I just want to make sure there's no like random little things still lying around. I think the map would say otherwise if there is, because it seems like it's yeah, it says things. Okay, we still have to fight one thing.
We're so high up.
You think?
Get lost!
You're mine! It's over! Come one, come all!
Here I go.
Strike! Rising Wyvern!
This one's mine. You're mine. This one's mine.
You got flyers.
I got this. Let a marksman handle it.
All
We'll
yours.
be getting started.
Rising Wyvern! Strike!
Well then, let's keep moving.
Oh my god, the thunder. Oh my gosh. That is scary. Outside.
No choice. Strike! Demon Pact! Take this! You're finished! Take this! It's over! Mirage! No escape! Demon Fang! Take this! This one's all mine! Take this! You're finished! Rising Wyvern!
Looks like we won.
Fighting enemies, so let's do that.
I won't forgive you.
Take this! It's over! Demon Fang! Mirage! Take this! You picked the wrong fight! Here I come! You're finished! Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! Slash!
There you go.
Well then, let's keep moving.
I'm going the wrong way. Man, I still want to do that side quest. Defeat the Mantis. I could check the level, but I don't know. I think it wouldn't hurt too much if I check, but still. Move through the hands.
Want to get back to Ulzebek?
Yeah, we better. We don't have time to waste.
Someone's in a hurry.
Fast travel. As you pass through campgrounds and other locations, you'll unlock fast travel points. On the map list from the area and pick a point. Some areas may be inaccessible at certain times in the story. Interesting. Yes, we can.
I hate camping out.
I want to rest at camp spot. But first, let's go actually save because it is storming where I am. Rest, yes.
Hurry up and go to sleep.
I can think for myself, you know.
Yeah, but the last thing I need is you dragging me down because you're too tired.
I'll keep that in mind.
Zoogles.
I swear you can't walk 5 steps without tripping on a Zoogle. This is getting old.
Yeah? But wasn't it you Renans who brought the Zoogles here from Rena in the first place?
They're not just ordinary animals from Rena. Each of them has been modified to suit a particular purpose. In fact, some Zoogles were originally derived from the animals on Dana. Or so I've heard.
What? You Renans couldn't stop at just the people of this planet? You had to screw with our nature too?
You can get angry all you want, but we have bigger fish to fry. So, are you going to work with me or not?
I will. It's in both of our own interests.
Oh, and that's it. That's a lot of skits. One cutscene. No.
Make sure to get some good rest.
Up on, or does it just automatically remove itself? I know.
I think we've rested long enough. Let's keep moving.
Okay, we could try fast travel, but still. We'll see. I didn't know the game could go so far with detail, but I just wait. I wanted to think about something, but I feel like I can't.
of you!
You're mine!
By the power of water!
Demon Fang! Crush! Mirage!
There! I never miss!
Here I come! You're finished! Nicely done, Xion.
You're flat. Step it up!
Yeah. You got it.
Come on! I'll blow you to
It's over.
smithereens!
Rising Wyvern!
And again!
Mirage!
Mega Ray!
Take this!
This could be useful.
Wow, all the points is go back. Yeah, whatever. Where's the oh, the fast travel's right here. Oh, and the side quest too. Let's go here. Since the game gave us a tutorial, might as well make use of it, right?
Always good to be back in familiar territory.
Hey, you're that Iron Mask that Zephyr brought in, yeah? Can I ask you for a small favor? Sure. What is it?
Yeah!
I appreciate you being so quick to help. Here's the deal. We're running short on food. Okay, granted, it's something of an ongoing problem around here. The soil around here doesn't have much to offer, and our crops are doing even worse in it than usual lately. I want to ask you to go fetch anything crazy. Just some wheat and potatoes would help plenty. Sure.
How's this?
Would this be enough to tide you over? We found it outside of town.
Huh?
That's exactly what I'm looking for. You sure I can have it? As much as we need fresh food that grows out in the wild, I can't just ask anyone to go pick it, what with all the Zoogles running around. So, don't mind if I go ahead and help myself to what you've got. You were a big help. We couldn't exactly afford to risk stirring up a hornet's nest, reducing the Bright Ice's cut and all. With all this extra food, now we can feed all the kiddos who've had to go hungry of late. Glad to hear it. Just happy to do what I can to help. I might not be able to see your face, but I can tell that you're a good soul. I don't have much to offer you in return, but I can teach you a recipe that's really easy to prepare if you like. If you're talking about the one that uses wheat, I already know that.
Okay!
In that case, how about a potato recipe? This one's also simple to fix and tastes good. It's a lifesaver when you're real hungry.
Thanks.
Sounds good. I'll give it a shot sometime. Great, you absolutely should. You can't operate in tip-top shape on an empty stomach. Ooh. And a recipe. Yay!
Sorry for the side trip.
We got to learn a new dish. I'll take what I can get, really. Let's cook it next time we make camp.
Is that why she went along with this?
Okay. This crit damage. Yeah, I want to do that. Easier execute. Ooh, that would definitely be nice. Kind of want to max out one circle, but I don't know. Oh, interesting. Huh. Let's get this since we already got. That would be good. I think it's easier just to increase the cheaper skills-ish. What level are we? 8. I don't trust doing the side quest yet. I mean, we can try, but I don't know. Since we have fast travel, I feel like we could go back here in the future anyway, so we'll skip out on it again. We make a save point just in case, so.
Crap!
Zephyr, we've got a huge problem. Something bigger than our attack on Balsip's castle? Because I don't have time to worry about anything else, right? Yes, bigger than that. The Bright Ice. They've started massacring folks all over Calaglia.
What?
They must be after her Master Core. Guess the enemy must be getting serious about retrieving it. They must be if they're willing to kill the slaves they need to harvest astral energy. Moscow got hit real bad.
No way!
What? Are you sure about that? Positive. It's the closest town to where we attacked them earlier. I feel bad for our people there, but them's the breaks.
Damn it!
Bastards! I guess we're going there.
Just where do you think you're going?
You know where. Moscow.
What good is it going to do to...
I don't need your permission.
Dang. Oh boy. That's okay, let's go. Fast travel added. So, go over here. Oh dear.
No choice. Swallow blade.
Oh, I should have rested.
Here I come.
Here I go.
You're mine.
I'm only getting
Mirage.
started.
Take this.
There. One more.
Strike. Demon Fang.
Here, let me
Rising
help.
Wyvern. No escape. Here I come.
Take it. You're mine. Gemini
You're
Alpha.
mine. You're finished. You're mine. This one.
Nicely done.
I know this is a tense moment, but I like to examine everything. Okay, the elevator doesn't work. Never mind. Wait, what? Oh.
Gotta break through. I'm not done. You picked the wrong fight. Take this.
Here's a healing. If it's in the sky, it's mine.
I owe you one. Mirage.
Here
Take
I
this.
go. Where are you going?
These are on
You're
themselves.
mine. It's over.
By the
Here I
power
come.
of water.
My legs. When I sit for too long, my legs
Our
feel
work
weird.
is done here. Let's move.
I'm right behind you, Shion.
Pepper. It's like, this is a pretty tense moment, and then I'm exploring, but I can't help it. This is how I play games. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no.
No choice. You got spirit.
By the power of water.
Take this.
Oh no!
Let me help.
Demon
First
Fang.
aid.
Take this.
Here
They really don't give up, do they?
Now you'll learn. You're mine. Mirage. Take this. Rising Wyvern.
Here I go.
Mirage.
I'm only getting started. By the
Turn him.
power of water.
Demon Fang. No escape.
Magna Ray.
Ow.
Take this.
Here.
Oh no!
Can't end here.
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss. I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss. Receptor.
Oh dear.
Not done yet.
Oh no, no!
Demon
Wait,
Fang.
Earl.
Swallow blade.
First aid. Let the marksman handle. Where are you going?
Weird.
Demon Fang. Rising Wyvern. Mirage. You're finished.
Magna Ray.
You're mine. You're finished. Mirage.
Take it.
Here I come.
You're mine.
You're finished.
Oh dear. I should help her.
Here I come. It's over.
Flame of fury. Can't be.
Oh no!
You'll pay for that.
Oh god. Help her.
What was I thinking?
It's on.
Okay. Yeah, we're struggling.
You're mine. Demon Fang.
Okay, there.
You're mine. You picked the wrong fight!
Did I even hit him? I don't think it did.
Demon Fang! You're mine! Flash! It's over!
Hear me! Flame of Fury!
You're mine!
Strike!
You're mine!
Oh dear. That was
That
tough.
took more energy than I expected.
Our score was low. It's fine. Ouch.
What's this thing?
Again, reminder, I'm playing on normal. It's tricky right now because I'm trying to get used to combat.
There are fewer soldiers stationed at the garrison than usual. They must have gotten deployed to Mosgul.
Doc, Cole, everyone please be safe.
Yeah, I don't like this. It's sad.
No choice.
Let's go to the one that's actually closer.
If it's in the sky, it's mine. I never miss.
Here I come. You're finished.
Here I go. I'm only getting
Swallow blade. No escape. Rising Wyvern. Take this.
Seems about right to me.
Oh, I feel like we should get a bit more level. What's over here? Probably something we can. Wait, can we? I feel like the game will let us. Oh, no! It let me. To the open ocean. I thought the game would force me to not go this way, but I guess it didn't.
Looks like this place opens out into the ocean.
The water's so much cleaner than what's on the surface. I even see fish swimming around.
Yeah, and boy, do they look delicious.
What?
Never mind.
Okay. Okay, we can't really do anything here, so let's leave. Well, we just ruined the immersion a bit. That's fine. It's okay. I don't like the astral energy. It's so messed up. Spawn the enemies though. So
An opponent like this should be easy.
Here I go.
I'm
only getting
You're
started.
finished.
By the power of water.
Take this. Mirage. Strike.
Gemini Aqua. By the power of water.
Here I come.
Oh,
Gemini
Here I
Aqua.
come. It's over. Demon
Here, let me
Fang.
help.
Strike.
First aid.
Rising Wyvern.
Magna Ray.
Mirage.
oh, she really had low HP. Oh, that's.
Looks like we won.
Wait. What? Ah, here. Okay. Let's check. Oh no. Just in case. Careless. Oh my god, the thunder outside.
Let's dispose of the trash.
You got spirit. Demon Fang. You're mine.
Oh no. No, no, no.
I'm only getting
You're mine. I won't show you any mercy. Now you'll learn. This one's all mine. Eat dirt.
one more.
You're mine.
This one's mine.
You're mine. It's over. You're mine.
Here I go. You're
Demon
mine.
Fang. Take this. You're finished. Die.
Burning strike.
Demon
Use
Fang.
a healing art.
Oh my gosh.
Take this. You're finished.
Hear me. Flame
You're
of fury. Burning strike.
Rising Wyvern. You're mine.
Flame of fury. Burning
You're
strike.
mine. It's over. Try harder.
Oh gosh.
Got you.
Dear.
Demon Fang. Rising Wyvern. I'm not done. Mirage. You're finished.
Hear me. Flame
You're
of
mine.
fury. Burning
Demon Fang. Take this. It's over.
Here. Oh dear.
I can feel my my power growing.
I'll level up. Iron dog tag. Forgot that.
Get lost! Here, let me help. First aid!
I owe you one. Strike! Demon Fang!
Please,
Here I
yeah.
come! You're finished!
Oh, wait, which one am I targeting?
Here I come!
Primed and
Got
ready.
flyers!
I got this! Let him
Wait,
mark
probably shouldn't have done that on that weak enemy.
All yours!
Takes me slow.
By the power of
Here I
water.
come! You're finished! Swallow Blade! You're mine! It's over! Mirage!
Help this! Mega
You're
Ray.
mine!
I'm pretty worn out.
Want to rest up for a bit?
Let's take a look here.
Right, here goes! You picked the wrong fight! No escape!
Flame of Fury!
Rising Wyvern! Mirage!
Who wants to die yet?
I'm not done! Here I come!
By the power of water.
I've used a bit too much healing.
How does CP recover? I wasn't paying attention, so I apologize. Oh, I can recover with things.
What's this thing?
So, oh, I'm small off the edge, that's fine. Let's go quickly check this. These things.
Right, here goes! No escape! Right!
Burning
Demon Fang! You're mine!
It's over!
Here I come! Take this! You're finished!
I never miss!
I probably shouldn't have aimed at the weaker enemy, but whatever.
Burning Strike!
Strike!
So is CP mainly for healing? Maybe, I think.
I need to be stronger.
So we can't go up there yet. Okay, I think we mostly have explored. Oh, except for here. Okay, so I think we're good to go. This way. Oh my god, I keep pressing M twice. That's how it works. Grilled mushrooms recipe.
You think it might be useful? We should try it and see how it turns out.
Let's see. It's just wolves. Okay, it's wolves.
Let's dispose of the trash.
It's over!
There!
Mirage!
Help this! Mega
Here I
Ray!
come!
Gemini
It's
Aqua!
over! Demon Fang! You're mine!
Mega Ray!
It's over!
Gemini
Rising
Aqua!
Wyvern! No escape! You're mine!
Make us
It's
not
over.
take it. You. Yeah, whatever. The enemy's gone.
Seems about right to me.
Let's not accidentally
What's
fall
this
off the
thing?
edge. Oh! Birdie! Okay, we get it. You did a cattail.
I'm surprised there are owls here, too.
Yeah, there are more of them around than I thought.
Okay, so it seems like the owls appear often. I mean, like, not often. I mean, like, to know if there's one around, they'll call to us. Okay. Save. I think we're fine with the slow CP.
Now you'll learn!
Mess with my friends, will you? You just crossed the wrong line!
No.
Here I come! It's over! Rising Wyvern! Mirage! Take it! It's over! You're my planet! It's on! Mirage! Eat dirt! Damn it! You're mine! It's over! Demon Fang!
Hey, hang in there. Hey! Damn it!
Oh dear. Save the residents. Oh god, that lagged a bit. Oh no. I don't have anything really. Please don't kill me. I beg you. Aw. That's why I told you not to rock the damn boat. I got no hope of winning against them. They didn't even do anything. Why are they taking it out on us? Why? I guess if they're like for us. Nice. It's messed up. Where are we going? Oh, here.
Too late.
Stop. Please, don't hurt the children.
What's that? Damn it, I can't reach them in time.
Jeez. Oh no. It's down and do as we're told. This is just... Oh. God. Sad.
Get back, Cole.
Doc! Cole! Stop! Not if I can help it! Swallow Blade! Demon Fang! No escape!
Where are you going?
You're mine! Rising Wyvern!
There! Go! You're mine!
It's over! Take this! You're finished! Demon Fang!
Are you all right? What about the others? Are those bastards still here?
Iron Mask, take it easy. It's all right now. Most were able to escape, and we've survived. Honestly, we got off lucky. It's often worse when a resistance group pops up.
Lucky? You call people getting slaughtered like this lucky?
This is how things go when you're a Danon slave. You're dead if you stand up to them. Keep your head down and do as you're told. At least then you have a chance to survive. You only have one life. That's why...
I should wait for the right moment?
Yes.
So someone else dies instead while we live another day. Is that what you're saying, Doc? You're willing to risk everything on the chance that things will get better if we wait long enough. But what's the point of waiting if others have to die so that we can live?
What do you think happens when someone tries to resist? It'd be one thing if the rebel died, and that was that. But it never ends with only one death. You've seen it for yourself. Everyone suffers for it. Knowing that, are you really going to tell me our waiting has no meaning?
But that's... I understand not wanting to throw away the same lives we're trying to protect. That would be senseless. But if you wait too long, if you get too used to waiting, then eventually you lose the will to fight. I don't want that to happen to me. I've already met the Crimson Crows. People who risk their lives to fight the Renan's rule. People who know they might not live to see us win, but fight anyway to give those who come after a better chance. If my life is at risk either way, then I'd rather spend it fighting.
So you've decided to take up the sword?
Yes, but not just any sword. It's a sword that only I can wield, but one that's also too powerful to use on my own. I doubt those who fought the Renans in the past ever had something like this on their side. That's why I'm willing to bet everything I have on this sword. I know it might mean more people end up in danger, but...
Okay. If that's how you feel, then forget what I said. It's clear your time has come, Iron Mask. Currently, you and that sword are the only things capable of driving the Renans back. It's because of you that we're still alive right now. If there's a way through this for all of us, then I'll put my trust in you to find it.
Doc, thank you.
Now, remember what you said, and don't ever abandon that conviction of yours, all right?
Right. I won't.
You've grown so much since we first met, and you've met some good people, too. Maybe you have a chance after all.
Return to Uzbek. Why do the Renans have to be so cruel to us? Is this something we did? Did we do something wrong? Do you know why, Iron Mask? I just don't get it. Aw. Jeez. There's now.
Hoo.
What is that?
Hoo. I'm surprised there are owls here, too.
Yeah, there are more of them around than I thought.
I'm surprised there was even an owl here to begin with. Like, yeah. Curiosity, could I? No. I'm just curious. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Oh no!
An opponent like this should be easy.
Demon Fang! Rising Wyvern! No escape!
I'm only getting
Take
started.
this!
Gemini Aqua!
Here I come! It's over! Rising Wyvern!
Take
It got flyers!
I've got
You're
this.
mine!
Let a marksman
You're
handle it.
finished! All yours!
Burning strike!
Take this!
It's a bit overkill.
I've used a bit too much healing.
Yeah, once we go back, we should recover.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Here I go.
I'm not done!
You're mine.
It's over!
Yeah, things are
You're mine!
getting
It's
easier.
time!
Magna Ray!
You picked the wrong fight! Here I
Round and
come!
ready. Flame of fury!
Rising Wyvern!
Burning strike!
Mirage!
Magna Ray!
You're finished!
I'm pretty worn out.
Want to rest up for a bit?
We don't have really rest point until we're back, so. Okay.
You're back. Hurry on in. We've been waiting for you.
You're not gonna ask what happened?
I can tell enough by the way you look right now.
I see. Zephyr, I need to ask you something. Would you have invited me to join you, even if I didn't have the blazing sword?
Of course.
Why, though?
There aren't many folks out there who are crazy enough to resist the Renins like we do. So when I find someone with the knack for it, I make sure to keep them close. Plus, you remind me of another guy we lost. Maybe deep down, trying to help you is a way of making amends for what I couldn't do for him. But if you don't want this, just say the word.
I'm not going anywhere. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't even be here.
If you say so. All right, come on in.
Thanks.
Yes.
Oh, no. Okay. Hey, Iron Mask. Can I have a minute of your time?
What's wrong?
Hey, Dyron. What do you need? Well, all you've been doing since you got here is fight, right? I'm starting to get worried about how your weapon's holding up. Oh, we're finally getting this. After all, you're about to fight Balseth. You'll need to be prepared for whatever he might throw at you. I don't think we're gonna immediately go straight to him, but okay. Luckily, we happen to have a blacksmith here on site. You should see what he's got tempered.
Got it.
Alright, I'll make sure to remember that. Ooh. Should I stay on the level? Yeah, sure. So I would like to do that. Again. Okay. That would be good to do this.
Hey.
You had a blacksmith here?
Yeah.
Yep, Aaron filled me in. In addition to farm tools, I also make weapons for the Crimson Crows. Knowing it's for you, I just have to help. I'll forge you the best weapon I can manage with the materials I've got. Okay. We can't get that, so I guess this. How do I even tell what's increased? Sure. Okay, that's it. So, what do you think about this? Not bad at all. That's the most you'll get out of me right now. Bring me more materials and I'll whip you up something grander.
Thanks.
This is plenty enough grand as it is. I never knew Ziggle parts were so versatile.
Good, good.
Thanks. Glad to hear it. I'll leave the rest in your hands. We'll give the Rena hell and set us free, okay? That's the plan. Cool. Did we essentially just get our gold back?
Is this something you're into?
Yeah. These ingenious structures and gadgets never cease to amaze me. Check out these handle grooves.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be seeing here.
Oh yeah, I should also pay attention to the corner of the game as well. I forgot I could just do this. Let's do this. Ariel's cooked 8. Ariel's down by boost attacks 20. Huh. Guess we'll do that next. Oh, I didn't even do anything here. Oops. Rest. Sure. What can we do? Heal HP after battle. Deal defense. Let's do get the effect.
This is great. The taste and aroma will blow everyone away.
Okay. Don't work too hard out there. Sure. And our CP recovered. Yay! Oh, yeah, that's obvious. at least exit. You know, what am I doing? I want to check something. Nothing. Yeah. Oh wait, did we lose? No, we still have this. Ah. No, I think this is a good time for me to end things off for today because it's close to 4 hours. Okay, the game says 3.5, but I started the stream like 3 hours, 47 minutes ago. I think this is a good enough place to stop for today. So, obviously we started the game. Seems like the setup is quite interesting. We have an amnesiac protagonist here. I can't really say anything more than that because of obvious reasons. Until the game says something I can't say. I will no. It does make me wonder, like, if you're playing... Considering that Tales games have New Game Plus, if you go through the game, like... I can't say it yet. We're not... I don't think we're at a part yet close. I feel like we'll eventually get there, considering the cover of the game and all that. And also, to be fair, they did say it right off the bat, like in 2019, like when a tiny bit of info was revealed too. You know what? Forget it. I did say, yeah. Okay, so yeah, and we met Xion, and seems like the plan of action here is obviously to, you know, free the people, obviously, but yeah, I don't think there's much I can say because I obviously have no idea what's gonna happen next. So, yeah. I think next time I'm gonna try to fight that enemy. I don't think I want to try, but I do want to attempt. Maybe not yet. I think we'll keep going with the story, and then maybe, just maybe, we might try to fight that really tough enemy. And also, to be fair, based on how the guy said it, it sounds like we could do it at any time in the game, so... I think we don't have to worry about anything, so... yeah. I will say one thing I really like about these Tales games, like the later ones, is that... since Zestiria... I mean, to be fair, this is the 17th title, so that was only like 2 entries ago. I think... I don't know, it probably is Exilia 2. Like, when they started, like, you know, making it clear where side quests are, is like, so you don't miss them. I mean, you could still miss them, but the point being is that, how do I put this? Like, it's easier to find them because Tales of Vesperia, is a game that, you can very much easily miss side quests in it, so... and as well as like little hinting story events as well. Which is kind of the reason why that playthrough doesn't exist on my channel anymore, because I missed so much of it that it's like, it's an incomplete experience. So yeah, I do like how the later Tales games start making it easier to find side quests. So yeah, I really appreciate that. Anyways, yeah, so next time, I don't think I'm gonna try the boss anyway. I might have literally just said I want to try it, but I feel like it's best if I don't. Probably best I don't. Wait, out of curiosity, how do I exit the game? I don't know. I'll figure out how to close the game. Like on my own time. Wait, how can I? No. Oh, whoa. How to save? Yeah. You see it right here. Yeah, but I'm pretending we don't know anything. For the sake of simplicity. Because if I say anything, I might say something that the game is not gonna say until later, so, you know. Anyways, I mean, the game already did, but... you know, when it actually becomes... you know, when it's actually mentioned later on, okay? Like, it's easier to wait till then. Anyways, how do I exit the game? I'll figure it out. So anyway, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all next time.